All right. Today is Saturday, November 1st, 2025. And look at the freaking date. You know what that means? It's video games. Also, hello, Spade Demon, by the way. Have you ever... Well, I don't want to start off by complaining. So let me just say first, thanks for coming by. But also, I feel like, have you ever been to a stream before? Because, usually, you know, there's some setup time, you know? You gotta prepare. I had to, like, tweet, even though, like, I doubt this matters. But I have to tweet, I have to, like... You know, clean my glasses, there's some preparation time before you actually start, you know? I mean, that's why I was playing some music, you know? On the screen as well, what was it? Which one? This one. It says, video games will commence shortly. I assume people understand what that means, but maybe it's not obvious. It's like, you know, how other streamers have like starting soon screens, right? That's basically what it is. It just means that. I don't know, like, I feel like other streamers do that too. Anyway. Alright. Also, I don't know, the way you talk, I don't know, I don't want to accuse anyone, but just letting you know, if you're under 18, you shouldn't be chatting is all I'm saying. That's kind of like my soft rule. Technically, the real rule is that if you're under 13, you know, you're not supposed to even have an account in the first place. But, you know, anyway. Hello, Blue Dragonfly, as well. You know, that's what I was thinking, like, because there are rules to the channel, and maybe I should make it more obvious by having a little, like, BRB screen that actually lists all the rules, because nobody reads the rules. Maybe make it more obvious, you know, I don't want to dox myself, but I think, hold on, well, actually, I'm gonna hide my screen real quick. What's the button again? I already forgot what I used to, like, hide my screen again. Was it? Oh, whatever, I'm just gonna manual. Anyway, oh, what was it? Where is it? I haven't really worked on it yet. But where is it? SighingSlider, transitions and backgrounds, and that's the old one. Over here, and then over here, right? That's what I was trying to find. So, you know, again, I mentioned last time, but like, I'm still trying to do some kind of weird OC thing, replacing the freaking Astolfo avatar. I was thinking, like, you know, this will be the new BRB screen, sort of. Again, this is a work in progress, obviously. This is not the entire thing. But, you know, there'd be like a little loading icon there, animated loading icon of some sort, and then maybe something here, some kind of text. I was thinking maybe like rules, you know? But I don't know, that feels like a little... I don't know what the word is. Authoritarian? I don't know, maybe that's extreme. But like, you know, like maybe I'm like too rulesy. I don't know if that's the right word, but maybe we should put something else. You know, obviously this is kind of like, again, I mentioned before, but like inspired by the Psychopomp loading screen. You know, it's like game tip and then real world tip, and the real world tip was just crazy nonsense or something. Or what was it the other way around? I don't remember. Anyway. All right. 17. Also, I don't know what you typed at the end there. That's kind of weird. Technically, if you're 17, well, for one, you never say your age on the internet, by the way. Just don't do that, in general. Especially if you're under 18, because if you're under 18, technically the rules of... Okay, well, I'll have to search for it. What's the YouTube? TOS under 18. It's like, if you're under 18, you represent that you have a parent or guardian's permission to use the service, technically. So you need to have, like, a parent or legal guardian supervising you, because you're still a child, technically. Anyway, I don't want to be mean, but I also don't want a repeat of... I'm like a horrible streamer, but like, I don't want a repeat of what happened last time when I let children kind of chat in my chat and like have a little like back and forth and just kind of argue a little bit. So I don't know. I'm just a bad streamer, I guess. But probably... where's the option? I don't know where the option is. Hold on. Well, hold on. Let's look after... This is what I do. I bait people, like telling me their age, even though I don't want to. I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm gonna ban. Did that work? I shouldn't have that worked. Yeah, I banned them. Nothing personal. I don't know if you're still hearing this, but like, I don't know. That's the rule. I don't want children in my chat. And it's not like, again, it's not, I don't know what the word is, but I don't know, can they still chat actually? Because I saw the one last message. It was, wait, don't do it! And then I freaking execute them. Anyway, nothing personal. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's not just age. Sometimes people are just immature just in general, but like, I feel like age is a common denominator where like, I don't want to have a conversation with children. I don't know. It's just too much of an age gap, I guess, which is weird to say because that usually means something else. But anyway, I can't relate to the children, okay? It's hard. It's hard to relate to the Zoomers these days. And again, if they're smart enough to not like, say they're underage or whatever, and like, and they're well behaved, then I wouldn't know, right? But like, if it's kind of obvious, then it's like, I don't know. Again, I'm such a bad streamer. Like, streamers, they're supposed to cultivate like a young audience, apparently, They're supposed to be like hip and cool with the kids. And they have billions of like viewers, I guess. But I don't know. But them's the rules. The rules that I made up, but I mean, not entirely made up. Again, YouTube and Twitch is like, if you're under 18, you have to have a parent or guardian, supervising you. If you're under 13, you can't be here, I think. But generally speaking, though, I prefer people over 18. 18 is such an arbitrary age anyway, but like, an adult, at least. And also, again, like a lot of games I play, like, I mean, the game I'm playing today is Berrywitched Harvest. It's like a violent game, I mean, for the most part, funnily enough, most of the game I played so far isn't really that violent, except that one time, I guess. Was there, what's her face? Blueberry, got caught in the freaking, like, rabbit mask thing, and then the body horror. Anyway. Besides that, it hasn't actually been that violent. As long as it's just me, the music's kind of low. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm playing Undertale OST because I'm kind of sick of being copyright claimed. But I still might get copyright claimed anyway. Does Toby Fox copyright claim? I just assume not, but like maybe. Because I could like play classical music and I still get copyright claimed, And there's a legit reason for it, because technically the recording is copyrighted, not, even though the song is not. Anyway. You remember that, Dragonfly? Yeah. I don't know. Again, like, I don't want to be mean. And as a content creator, you do attract children, I guess, apparently. But like, I don't know. Just don't want to interact with children. They can still watch, even though I advise them not to. But just you can't just chat. I don't know. I'm just awkward around children, I guess. I don't know. Because there's just so many things they say, like, like they get too personal, I guess. They just spout out personal information, in public. They don't understand like the whole streaming thing in the first place. Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know how to describe it, but like, maybe I'm the one who is wrong. Or what was that? What does Skinner say in The Simpsons? It is the children who are wrong. This is what I do, by the way, because I can never remember quotes. So I just look it up. What did he say? He said, "Am I sort of out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong." Something like that. Anyway. This is kind of short though, these like short snippets, because these are meant to loop, over and over, but like, these are just going through really quickly. Anyway, again, hopefully, I don't piss anyone off, by banning children, I guess. I just don't want children. Anyway, what I'm gonna do today, well, I'm gonna continue playing Berrywitched the Harvest, and I don't know. I'm distracted by the Undertale music. Speaking of Undertale, is the thing done yet? Undertale, what's it called? Undertale Plus mod. I'm just browsing, by the way. I'm just browsing. I don't have any plans in the beginning of a stream. I usually do Renshu, and but like, I'm kind of bored of Renshu. I don't want to do Renshu anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to it eventually. So now I'm just browsing. Oh yeah, did I put the category for Twitch yet? Hold on. Just again, in case I dox myself, I want to just turn it up. Like, what's the hotkey again? I forgot the hotkey. I don't remember what the hotkey is. I specifically set it up so that I don't, or rather I do use a hotkey to switch display captures, right? Control, all right, Control Alt number key. Okay, do that. Oh yeah, it's still Void Stranger. Whoops, that's for tomorrow. Okay, I knew I forgot something. I changed the category, even though it doesn't matter. Like, I want to make sure I follow the rules, right? Anyway, Undertale Plus. I want to eventually play this before Deltarune. Will this ever come out before Deltarune? You know, or before Deltarune finishes? Because I never touched Deltarune yet. Because technically I haven't streamed Undertale yet, so I want to stream Undertale first. I remember. This is a very obscure thing, but like, I remember when a YouTube channel, it was Super Best Friends. It's kind of like, I don't want to say famous. I mean, it's internet famous, sort of. Like, it's a well-known channel for a lot of people. You know, people who are into Let's Plays and all that back in the day. The Super Best Friends. There used to be 2 Best Friends, but it was Super Best Friends or whatever, because they added more people. But anyway, you know, proto Game Grumps, I guess. Did it come out around the same time? Not sure. Game Grumps was after, I think. I didn't like Game Grumps as much, but anyway. But Super Best Friends, they played Danganronpa, right? And this is just an obscure thing. They played Danganronpa, right? But I think they played, what was it? They played the spin-off, I think, right? They played the Ultra Despair Girls or whatever. I think it's also an anime. Like, they played this first, which, by the way, I found this game kind of like, man, I didn't really like it. Like, it's completely different gameplay, and I was like, I don't know. And some of the plot points were kind of interesting, but like, otherwise, it's kind of like bland. It's just not as interesting as the original Danganronpa, but anyway. But they played this game, right? The Super Best Friends. This is a YouTube channel that I think has long been, defunct, or is that the right word? I don't know. They all like stopped collaborating. They just did their own, went off and did their own thing. But anyway, they played this game, Danganronpa, Ultra Despair Girls, but they never, on the channel anyway, they never streamed Danganronpa 1 or 2. I don't know if 2 came out the same. Oh, actually, 2 minutes maybe after. I don't know. They never played the original Danganronpa anyway. And so, while they played this game, they spoiled a lot of the plot points of the original Danganronpa, and people were pissed. At least from what I remember, anyway. People were pissed in the comments because they kept, like, referring to the original Danganronpa, because they had to, right? Because a lot of plot elements were related to the original Danganronpa. So they kept kind of spoiling, and they're talking as if you knew what happened in the first Danganronpa. But the problem is that the audience, well, they never played the game, so they just watched the Let's Play and like, oh, this Let's Play is ruined. You keep spoiling this other game that I haven't played. I don't get it. And like, a lot of people just complain about it and didn't like it. Right? So basically, my rule, and it's not like a ironclad rule, and maybe nobody cares, but because I'm not in that size anyway. But I'm just thinking, like, if I stream something, I can't just skip to the sequel, right? I always have to stream the first thing first before I go to the next thing. Like, it doesn't make sense to just skip to the sequel, because I feel like that would piss people off, Or like, it would be annoying to watch, right? Because you're like, wait a minute, you didn't even play the first one yet, technically. So ironically, I think, was it Perfect Apocalypse? Everyone watched, like, my playthrough of Perfect Apocalypse, the sequel, and definitely way less people watched the original. Because everybody watches Manly Badass Hero playthrough for some reason, and then watch mine, because Manly Badass Hero didn't play the sequels. I don't know. Literally, that's what happened. I think. YouTube.com SighingSlider. It's ironic that it's like the other way around. But I still want to watch, or not watch, but play the video games in sequence. Anyway, you see here. Actually, well, I mean, it's comparable, but because it's the sequel. The sequels have more views, but the original one, not so much. But it's not bad. Also, I've played this. What? It's such a, you know, this is such a clickbait thumbnail when I think about it. I don't know. It's like the game. I don't know if I would play this kind of game ever again. I played it only because of Nom Nom Nami. Nom Nom Nami is one of the developers, you know, kind of like iconic on Itch.io. That's well known on Itch.io anyway, a well known indie developer. And so one day they made like a game that turns out, you know, they baited me. You know, I thought it was a normal visual novel, but it turns out it was yaoi. I was reading BL, I didn't know that. Femboy BL. Anyway, but I couldn't just stop in the middle, of course. Like, I have to finish it. Anyway. But really, that's not really, you know, it's funny enough, but then those are not really my type of games, you know? Like, just straight up, there's only, like, straight romance, you know? Oh, straight. But anyway, you know, like, just normal romance, vanilla romance, it's not that interesting to me, really. I much prefer if there's, like, something interesting. I mean, Zeno, I guess. Even though I said, again, the Zeno translation wasn't very good. I like some aspects of it because he has a freaking gun pointed to his head. By the way, does that get you demonetized? I don't know if you can show that. Can you show that on YouTube? I'm not sure. I don't know that the video is like unmonetized. Oh yeah, this was, by the way, random fact. This got like claimed, I think. I forget for why. I think it's, yeah, well, it's the Needy Streamer or below like OST or something like that. It got claimed. And this is just like a little bonus video, you know, because there's like a little secret Easter egg then that you can get in this game that kind of requires like a very obscure thing. I think I can't remember what it was. Like, you have to like get like a particular score, and then you gotta like reset it like a million times because it's like a random chance or whatever. So I didn't have a chance to do it in the actual playthrough, so it's a separate video. But at some point, it got copyright claimed, I think, by the developers. You know, because I think the OST, the song, whatever, technically. Anyway. I'm just looking through my glory days, you know, whatever. What do you call them? Back when I had like 600,000 views, except it's just one video, really. I don't know. I mean, this one video got 600,000 views for some reason. I don't know. It's like a random video. It's not even my main content. It's just random. It's just literally a random video. Like, it was based on, well, it's because it was based on my playthrough, actually, my visual novels. It's not like completely like disconnected. It's just, this is a random video I made because in Fate's Day Night Heaven's Feel, there's like, I think at least a few options or a few opportunities, at least one opportunity to like hit Shinji or whatever, because he's a character in that game. By the way, I don't know to explain it, but like, you know, Shinji Mato is a character in the game, and he's just kind of like a asshole, you know? He's like, he's not even that like important of a villain. He's just a bit of an asshole. And you know, and there's like an option to punch him or whatever, but like it never goes anywhere. You try to punch him, but then you miss or something, or like you just hit him like a little bit, and it's like, oh, whatever. It's like nothing really happens, right? So it was like, I was really like kind of pissed, and so I wanted like an actual scene where Shiro punches Shinji and actually fucking kills him or whatever. Of course, this is a comedy video, so he doesn't actually die, but you know. Anyway, that's the origin of the video. I just want to make like some kind of random meme where like he actually like gets his just desserts, gets punched in the face, and then he explodes. You know, and I kind of put clips together, kind of like, again, kind of like inspired by, what's his name? Is it Aaron? I can't remember. Aaron Headbutt? What was it? Aaron. Yeah, this guy who has the avatar of what's her face from Hollow Ataraxia, like Kirei's daughter, I think. I forget her name actually. I didn't like Hollow Ataraxia that much, to be honest. I don't get the plot. And she's kind of like has a cool design and everything, but like I don't know what role she played really. She was just kind of there. I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of based on these videos where like it's also kind of like these spliced clips, right, of like Fate Stay Night anime, like movies and shows. I think mostly, you know, the Fate Zero and stuff, kind of spliced together and to make it seem like it's a different context, and usually it's comedic. That's the idea. Anyway, like Rin makes a mistake. I think she like jumps off and dies or something. What was it like? I'll just watch a video. Oh, but I can't. Oh no, I can. It says it contains suicide and self-harm topics. She's gonna unalive herself. Ooh, oh, there you go. Wee! And then she dies. You know, that kind of thing. Or like, it's supposed to be funny. It's like, what the heck? She's freaking dead. Even though this is just a Photoshop, I think. Right? It's a Photoshop, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, because this character is from a different anime, I think. Some different franchise. I'm pretty sure. Anyway. Does that tag my video as like self-harm as well? I'm not sure. I don't know. Of the VOD anyway. Anyway, I'm just rambling, by the way. This is just what I do. This is just what I do. I'm just copying other streamers now. Even though, like, everybody complains about it, I think. But, like, why is this streamer talking so much in the beginning of the stream? And it's like, oh, that's just what they do now. It's the meta. This is 2025 meta now. Because if you don't yap in the beginning of the stream, you're not a real streamer anymore, I guess. Well, for practical purposes, though, I guess it's just warming up your voice, really. You know? It's just what you do. What do you call it in the VTuber sphere? Again, I'm not like the biggest VTuber aficionado. What's the word? Aficionado? I don't know what the word is. I can't think of the word.
Aficionado.
Aficionado. Why is it British? Well, maybe it's because my VPN makes me think I'm Britain or something. Aficionado. Aficionado. Anyway, I'm not the biggest, or I'm not the... What's the word? Well, how would I describe it? Do I say the biggest VTuber aficionado? Is how you describe it? Anyway, I don't know like a lot about VTubers, but I know that there's something called Zatsu, I think is what it's called. It's basically just yapping. And it's what VTubers do too. It's just kind of like just yap in the beginning, you know? That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, that's all just to go back, because I'm playing the Undertale OST. I was wondering when this comes out, you know? Because, I want to play it. I want to play it before Deltarune comes out. Because, I could also just replay just normal Undertale, but, like, I want to try something different, right? That's the idea. Something a little bit new. Hello, Hanasa, by the way. Zatsudan. Before gameplay, right? Again, I just assume it's like, just chatting. You're just chatting. That's all. Ironically, or maybe not ironically, I'm not sure, but, you know, VTubers sometimes, they just do that. You know? Well, one of my favorite VTubers, do you call it Oshi? I don't know if Oshi is the right word, but, you know, I like to watch Grimmy, by the way. If I had to pick like a favorite VTuber, and sometimes she just does that the whole stream. She does like 12 hours or something. Not 12 hours, but you know, several hours. They just put it in the background, and then you do something else of your time, you know? I don't know. That's what I do anyway. For streamers, I just kind of put them in the background, and then I do something else. Usually. But yeah. Anyway, Undertale Plus. There's a lot of like little modifications you could add. Like the idea is that it's not just like a remake thing. It's like there's a bunch of other features added in or whatever, like little mini games or whatever. Because there's another one. I think it was Undertale. I can't remember what it's called. Bits and Pieces or something. That was also like an Undertale remake, but it was canceled because of something that happened to the main author. I think a crime involved or something. I don't know, crime related. Yeah, that's what the word means. Yeah, I assume so. Zatsudan. It's a funny word though. Zatsudan. Sounds like a fighting game move. Anyway, but yeah, Undertale Plus. You know, they have all these features. What I really want is just, you know, the recolor. I like the recolor. Just the more polish is just interesting in general. It has even had the Deltarune battle game. I don't know if I'll try that. I don't know what it changes. Does it just change this, but everything else is the same? Like you still do bullet hell? Maybe, I don't know. Actually, I'm not familiar with Deltarune. Yeah, I never played Deltarune. But what I really want is like the heroes. See, it says right here. Just the basic stuff, you know, just a new color paint, and I believe the Switch exclusive features, I think, right? Because Undertale came out on the Nintendo Switch actually, and then there's some like exclusive features. I think like a boss fight, you know, that you can do or whatever. Let's read this Reddit thread, because that's where I get my information. I don't get it from AI summaries. I get it from Reddit because it's the last few bastions of actual human knowledge. At least parts of it that isn't already, destroyed by AI. But anyway, 2 new borders, and the Mad Mew Mew mini boss. Apparently some kind of cat girl boss. I don't know. It doesn't matter, but like, I feel like I would be missing out. So I want that mod to just put it back in. I'm not buying a Switch just to play Undertale. I want it for free. I bought Undertale, on Steam. I have it, I think. I have it. It's right here. See? I bought it. I have Undertale. Well, technically, I'm entitled to it, right? I don't know. Have I checked out Undertale Yellow? Yeah, I've heard about it. I don't know if I'll play it. I'm not sure. Apparently, yeah, it's a fan-made prequel. It's not official, though. It's just a mod. I don't know. It's probably good. But, like, what's the word? Suspicious? Also, I feel like the song's already looped. I don't know. It's shuffle, right? Yeah, it is shuffling. Anyway, Undertale Yellow. I was gonna say, I'm suspicious, I guess, because every time someone makes a game, like a fan makes a game from scratch, like a new story based, no, not that kind of based, but based or inspired by the original content, it gets a little corny. I don't know, like the writing is always a little off and a little self-indulgent, I feel like, even just by looking at the graphics and everything, it looks great, but like, is the writing on par? Because I don't know, is it gonna be super cheesy and be like, oh, and this was the Undertale, the Undertale. I don't know. Or something like that, It's like, it feels a little too much like fan fiction sometimes when people make fan games, I feel like. But like, it's like too much, like they're doing too much of a homage where like they don't have any actual original ideas, and so they're just harping on all the plot elements that happened in the actual original game, and it's like, I don't know. And that's just not to say like this game is bad. I haven't even played it yet, but that's just my suspicion, so that's why I haven't tried it out, because of my own prejudices. Prejudices of what fan games are, That's my issue. But, I don't know. I'm gonna play it eventually. I'd like to, again, if I would prioritize though, I would want to play Undertale Plus. If there's anything Undertale related, I would want to do this one first. It's not out yet though. See, it's not available. Maybe even Deltarune, and then try out Undertale Yellow or something. I don't know. About the cowboy, I'm assuming. Cowboy. Because the weapons you get in the original Undertale is like based on the different like dead children that Asgore murdered. Spoilers, by the way. That's just complete spoilers. Something like that. Or I don't know. I don't know if he murdered every single one of them, actually. I think some of them technically just die on their own from other causes. But anyway. Driving in my... speaking of Asgore, driving in my truck. What's the song? Like, what's the parody? Driving in my truck while having a beer. D-I-U... Or was it driving under influence? Or driving under influence. D-U-I, rather. D-U-I. D-U-I... Oh, I forgot the melody now. The song is distracting. Driving in my truck while having a beer. D-U-I... How about you die? No, look at all this stuff that doesn't really apply to me. I just want the simple remake. I say simple. It's not that simple, Or not, how do we call it? Remaster, remake, something like that. I just want this part, and like this part, I guess. Console exclusive content. Anyway, that's Undertale. Some water. Your favorite water-enhanced flavor. Blueberry lemonade. All the other flavors I tried so far is not so good, except berry. Alright, it's been about like half an hour. I guess we could just play the game now, I feel like. Let's just do that. You know, last time I played this, the voices were low. I wonder if the settings reset. Sometimes games do that. They don't save the settings. No, just a blank screen. Is my version broken? Yeah, that would suck, actually. Because, I can't launch the game. What am I supposed to do for today, you know? Also, I will probably lost my progress, too. Okay, there we go. It just took a while. Settings are correct, I guess. Again, the voices were so low, you know, with the default settings. I feel like, I don't know. Alright, let me change a few things. Again, this is technically a horror game as well, but I'd like to add a little warning too. Let me see. Hold on, I have to, just in case. Let's kind of do that. Let me change this. Let me change Berrywitched. The Harvest. And then put in the little general content thing. Some of the games I play may contain mature content that isn't appropriate for a younger audience. Viewer discretion is advised. Oh yeah, it was Halloween yesterday, by the way. I can stream on Halloween because technically it's not on a weekend, you know? I'm at work. Well, weekdays I'm literally at work, so I can't really stream. I mean, I sort of, but like I'm kind of tired. You know, I have to commute and everything. I don't know. I don't want to stream like after work. I'm gonna be very exhausted. Some people do that though. I feel like. I hear a lot of stories of people. Oh, you know, I've been on the grind. You know, like I get back from work and then I stream. I stream every single day. It's like, I don't know. How do you have the energy to do that? That's insane to me. You know, like when do you eat? When do you have time to like eat food? Because when I get home, I eat and then I shower. Well, actually, I shower first and then I eat. And I browse some videos, because I'm too exhausted to like do anything else. I just browse YouTube or something, or Twitch, and then I go to sleep, you know? I don't have energy to do anything else. I don't know. Anyway. That's why I stream on the weekends. That's what I do. Anyway. Let's continue playing Berrywitched The Harvest. Last time, well, to be honest, I don't know if I can summarize everything exactly, but like last time, I believe it's like, we were, Strawberry, right? That's her name? There's berry names, you know? Strawberry. I can't tell where in the timeline this is exactly. It feels like a prequel, but it could also be a sequel, possibly. I'm not sure. But either way, we're Strawberry. We were tricked and trapped in some kind of weird suicide forest dimension, as we've learned in the first game. But then our friends show up. You know, their names are Blueberry and Raspberry, I believe. They're like, oh, good old friends, you know, that was never even mentioned, I don't think. Or maybe they were, I don't know. But, you know, as far as I remember anyway, they were barely mentioned at all in the original game, and suddenly they're here. You know, it's like, whoa, we found you. Like, well, let's get out, you know? But then, so they left, but then, whoops, they got confronted by, I don't know, what's his name? I forget his name. Clown guy. I don't know, he's not really a clown, is he? But like, I don't know, the villain guy who's like, ooh, I'm so wacky, you know, but I also have infinite power. That kind of thing. And his like boyfriend, I guess, or I don't know. Well, actually, I don't know, is it non-binary? I don't know. Are they non-binary? I'm not sure. But you know, his like partner, assuming. It was like, I just talk like this all day, you know, whatever. And then they get trapped, and they're like, you need to play a game, you know, like Saw, whatever. And it's like, you have to find the skeleton, because technically Strawberry brought a skeleton with her, you know, when she left her like bakery. It was kind of weird, but like she had like a skeleton in her bag for some reason, literal skeleton in her closet. And then, we technically her like pets got like fused, and we got past them, go into a shed. I think it was a cabin or a shed or something, and then find a key and open an oven, and now we're here, you know, an underground thing. And it's a lot of flashbacks that happen in between, of course, where we learn about like, you know, that we were here before, and this was like a camp thing, you know, and this is also like put inside like a weird pocket dimension, you know. But anyway, and that's my really bad summary of what happened the first time. Let's see. But now we're here. We're underground, I'm assuming, like through a tunnel or something. And now we're trying to figure out like what to do. You click on things. You approach the control panel. For some reason, this one was covered in a gross black sludge. A back sludge? Typo! That's a typo. You lose 1-star rating on Itch.io. No, you wonder if there was anything underneath the goo. Taking a deep breath in, you decide to try and wipe some of the substance off. Oh, okay. Interactive gameplay. Boop. 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 237. As you cleared the gunk off, you could hear a faint sound. You seem to have placed your hand on a hidden switch that was placed next to the clue. Your eyes widen, and you turn around to warn your friends to be careful, but it was too late. Okay, is this a bad thing? Guys, I just hit something. I don't know what's going to do, but... I forget the voices I gave everybody, really. You know, even though they're bad. I mean, actually the game's already partially voice acted, so I don't need to do voices, blah, blah. Strawberries, something's wrong, very wrong. That cell that Raspberry was checking? Yeah, it just locked her in. You grew pale. You set up one of those sick traps, didn't you? Blueberry grabbed your hand and pulled you towards the cell Raspberry was now trapped in. What had appeared between you and your friend was a thick magical barrier. Raspberry tried speaking to you from behind it, but you couldn't hear her words. Huh? Should we try to blow it up?
I don't know.
No, remember, Raspberry said any explosion could cause the roof to collapse. We gotta figure something else out. You try to think of different ways you could break through the barrier, when suddenly you heard a loud banging. Raspberry was panicking and pointing upward. You stepped closer and put your head against the barrier to see. Wait, so you can't hear her speaking, but you can hear her banging? How does that work? How does the physics of sound waves work in that case? I'm not sure. The roof of the cell was coming down, fast. Ah, classic. You are almost a dual sandwich. Blueberry, we've gotta hurry. The ceiling's gonna crush her. Are you kidding me? Blueberry came over to double check. She placed her hand against the magical field, and Raspberry did the same. Don't worry, we're gonna get you out of here, I swear. Blueberry turned to face you. What are you thinking, Strawberry?
Do you need anything?
Maybe if we press the switch again and we reverse? Worth a shot. Blueberry went over to the control panel and pressed down the button again. Nothing seemed to happen. You heard the desperate banging from the cell. You rushed back to look, and you saw the trap hadn't stopped. If anything, it had only accelerated. Welcome to the, what's that channel's name? I forgot. It was such a big thing for a while. And maybe it still is. The, for some reason I want to say Nomadic Crusher. No, that's not a right word. What's the... what's the thing? YouTube channel where they use a device to crush things. Hydraulic press channel. That's what it was. AI. I mean, it's from here. Even it has its own Wikipedia page. What? Hydraulic press channel. Welcome to the hydraulic press channel. Today, we're going to crush a single raspberry.
Screw it! I'm blowing the thing open. No, that's going to... I don't care! Either Raspberry comes with us or we don't go forward!
The trap had descended to a point where Raspberry was crouching. You were running out of time. It was either this or nothing. Blueberry stood back and motioned Raspberry to do the same. She pulled out the remote device to activate Blueberry Bomb she had just set down. However, once she pressed it, nothing happened. What? Why is it not? Blueberry continued to press the button, but it wasn't responding. Hang on, I'm gonna go check what's up. Right when Blueberry came to the barrier, the device chirped. Ah yes, classic. Classic, it wasn't working. But then as you get close, it explodes in your face. It's like right out of a Looney Tunes episode. The explosion that followed Blueberry back, Blueberry back, turned into a flaming corpse flying through the air. This is an interesting description. The barrier shattered. The Raspberry, now on her stomach, tried to desperately claw to freedom, but it was too late. You could hear her bones crushing and snapping from the immense pressure, followed by her final words as she screamed out for Blueberry to come help her, to save her. Then immediate silence. A raspberry sandwich. You didn't have time to mourn as, like Raspberry said, the roof fell apart. You were buried within tons of rocks and concrete. Rocks fall, everyone dies. Blueberry was right. You was either leave with Raspberry, or you don't go forward. Bad ending. The raspberry pancake instead. Not a sandwich. Well, that's what happens, I guess. A lot of like convoluted things all happen at once. And then everyone died. Well, at least it was less vague than the one where we froze in the freaking freezer, I guess. And that one, it was just like, we didn't even see what happened, really. We just got frozen to death, and then suddenly the other guy just murdered everyone just for fun. Alright, well obviously, we have to make sure to not press that big red button, I guess. You could also just like memorize the number, but I don't. What was it, 237 or something like that? Let's look around some more though. Can we go to other places though? Aw, hey there, little guy. Blueberry approached the plant, gently touching its leaves. Funny how something can grow, even all the way down here.
Oh.
How's your garden back at the circus? It's good. Well, assuming it's still there the way I left it. A leak? Water from the ceiling dripped down onto the floor below. Drop, drop, drop. Same thing. Vines made themselves at home within the cracks and crevices of the wall. Oh, I can't make these vines budge. That is odd. I'm not normally one for brute force, but prying the door off using the forces of nature would feel very satisfying right now.
Okie dokie.
Agreed. You approach the keypad once more, trying to remember the equation. I don't know. Could be that. Aside from the unlabeled buttons and such, there didn't appear to be anything on the control panel. Okay, so this is another control panel that was covered. Can go in here? You notice Raspberry within the empty wall, staring at the ceiling. Walking over to her, you cleared your throat.
Raspberry!
Did you find something, Raspberry? Look up there. Do you see that too? The red markings.
Oh.
A glue. What does it say?
You see?
If my eyes aren't mistaken, I believe it says 108. That has to be part of the math equation. Thank you, Raspberry. Okay, so red is equals 108. Should probably write this down. Is there like a... I can't activate my Steam overlay. It is well, it's not a Steam game, but like technically I'm running it through the Steam client, but... Can't check out... Oh, I was thinking that these would be rooms too, but... Oh, there you go. You walk into one of the empty cells. Memories of the trap in your sister's workshop echo through your mind. You quickly step out of the cell. Too risky. Really? Hey, Strawberry, come here for a sec, would ya? Blueberry waved you over, pulling back the curtain.
Oh.
There's writing on the wall. Boom, baby. Now that's a 129, clear as day.
Blueberry!
Nice one, Blueberry. Yeah, praise to the almighty Blue. That's kind of cringe. Sorry, cringe. You know, kids these. I don't know. I mean, it's cringe like it's not even a Zoomer word anymore. I feel like it's been used for like several years at this point. At least I think so. But I feel like it's just another instance where people are just replacing words for no reason. Like cringe, at least the way people use it nowadays, it just means lame. You know? Why you gotta call it cringe? Just call it lame. We already had a word for that. Because that's what people mean when they say something is cringe. They're like, oh, this is cringe, you know? It's like, you mean it's lame. Why are you inventing new words to replace other words that were perfectly in use already? I feel like. I don't know. It's called the dictionary. Okay, so we can't go into these cells. So it's 103 and... what was it? We have a message log, I think, so we can just go through here. 129, 108, actually, oops, not 103. See, I misremembered. 108, 129. These are colored. 108, 129. And, well, let's save. Let's look at this again. And can we, like, avoid pressing the button this time? Yeah, see there, now I see the button. It's just 237. 237. Okay. 37. So it needs to be, let's see. I mean, it's just literally math, but like 108. 108 plus, you know, I want to do it in my head. I don't want to use a calculator. I just want to try doing it in my head. First, let's just add the two numbers. 108, 129. That would be... carry the 1... 7... and then 2 plus 0 plus 1 is 3... 3, 7... and then 1, 3, 7. So 137, right? I think it's 137. Oh no, 200. Why did I say 100? 200. 237, right? 237. 237. 237. Wait. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. But like, wait, I think it was 237 minus 237, which means it's 0. Wait a minute. But then, why didn't it work before? Anyway, as you punch the last digit of the code, you heard the words and clicks of the locking mechanism. The metal barrier opened slowly, a burst of pressured air escaping. Really? That was it? What? But we already tried that, didn't we? Behind the doorway, there lay the next piece of your morbid puzzle, a pair of cadaver's legs. You moved ahead of your friends before obtaining reward. You gave out a warning. Okay, everyone, be prepared to have another flashback. Raspberry and Blueberry shut their eyes tight, bracing themselves. Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was 237 minus 237, so like it's literally 0. But I did that already. I already put like... technically, because I was trying to exit, you know, because I clicked on the number pad before, and I was like, oh, it's 000, but like obviously that's not the answer. So to exit, you know, I just press check, and it's like, you know, it says it's not the right answer, but technically that was the answer the whole time. So why didn't it work before? Anyway, I mean, I know why. It's because technically the characters need to know the parts of the pieces of the puzzle first before they can actually solve it canonically, but still. Anyway. It wasn't a matter of if you would join the Council of Witches, but when. Ever since you were little, you could recall getting constantly degraded and belittled over your magical specialty. The standards between what specialties were cool or cringe, you know, or lame, never made sense to you. They only hurt your head. Still, if someone with a useless specialty like you could become a member of the Council of Witches, it quietly proved to everyone that your specialty does not limit you from doing great things. So you worked hard. You didn't have much of a social life to begin with, but now that time spent with friends was spent entirely focused on your goal. It did make you smile to see them at your inauguration celebration. Thank the beginners you reconnected with them there. If you hadn't, you might have regretted it for the rest of your life. The Council of Witches wasn't everything you had hoped it would be. You hadn't been at the council that long, but already you were beginning to rethink your career. You wanted to question why you were requested so early in the day, only to be greeted by him.
Oh, it's such an awful day, isn't it? It's a wonderful 90 degrees, absolutely humid, and oh, how the mosquitoes are just out in force today.
Huh? Why is he here? Also, 90 degrees? What is that? I'm assuming that's in Fahrenheit? What was that in Celsius? You know, I'm a Canadian, so I don't know. I don't know what 90 degrees Fahrenheit is. I'm assuming it's hot. The cheerful way he described the horrid weather made your mind want to shrivel and die. You silently prayed this would not take longer than it needed to.
Well, well, well.
I need to blow my nose real quick. Okay, so how do I do the clown voice again? I mean, that's what I call it, it's a clown voice. It's freaking Monokuma, you know? I'll be perfectly honest with you, Raspberry. This inspection might take all day, sadly. The council had requested a very thorough review of the grounds. You were screaming in your mind, but you replied professionally.
All right.
Of course, Councilman Memorial. Whatever is required. You're such a kiss-up, you know that, right? He turned around and started walking backwards, maintaining eye contact with you.
You're no fun.
You should let loose for a while. Can't be a member of the Council of Witches without being a bit of a jerk. It took every ounce of willpower you had to not instinctively roll your eyes. It continued on like this until finally you reached the abandoned campgrounds. Memorial took a deep breath and exhaled quite dramatically. Don't you just love fresh open air?
Now that you mention it.
I do indeed. As the council member of nature, it brings me immense feelings of... I don't. Nature sucks. Sucks like a vacuum. Sucks like a tornado. Sucks like a sequel to that movie that was fine just the way it was. It didn't need a sequel. You were beginning to get a migraine. Because this guy is just a content creator. He's just a TikTok influencer. You know, the way he speaks. Now, Raspberry, where per se is the entrance to the super scary torture lab? Oh, how I want to see it. If I recall correctly, it is in the kitchen. Follow me, please. Well, I don't know. I don't know if influencers talk like this. I guess not really. They'll be like, hey guys, we're at the campgrounds. Look at this. It's so cool. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, check out my product, you know, code Crazy Clown 101 to get a 10% discount or whatever. I don't know. That's what an influencer would sound like. It's about 32 degrees Celsius. That's pretty hot. And humid? That would be incredibly hot, at least from my point of view. You wandered past the rotted gates of the camp. Incantation Acres was carved into a wooden sign that was hung from the top. Vines and other foliage were snaking their way up the two trunks of the entrance, almost as if the forest itself was trying to devour the architecture and return the land to its untouched state. Architecture. Some cabins' windows had been shattered, and even one of the roofs seemed to have collapsed in on itself. Seeing a place that once brought joy not just to you, but to other children as well, reduced to this was... I can't speak. I said that wrong. Seeing a place that once brought joy not just to you, but to other children as well, reduced to this was heartbreaking. You couldn't help but feel melancholic. That word, it's always like what's the word? Like that word, I literally only learned that word because of anime. You know, the melancholy Haruhi Suzumiya. That's the only reason I know that word. It's horrible. Humidity makes everything worse, except for rising bread. Really? I didn't know that. I thought, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know how does humidity affect like like bread baking in like an oven. I'm not sure. Like unless you mean like the anyway. I don't know. I was just thinking like the humidity of like the environment like actually affects like the yeast in the bread or something. Or I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, I totally remember all the summers I've had. I mean, this last summer was also like very humid, so I understand like humidity is the worst. So if you don't mind me asking, I noticed that you seem rather familiar with this area. Yes, well, when I was younger, I was instrumental in the raid on this base. You had laced a slight tone of pride in that remark. It was to you an accomplishment, even though at the time it was a harrowing experience. I was wondering, like, whose perspective are we, like, talking to Memorial this whole time? I guess with Raspberry? I thought, because, you know, in the other flashbacks, it was from Strawberry's perspective, but I guess, you know, we're just from Raspberry's perspective this whole time. Yes. So because I thought it was, I thought the whole time we were referring to Strawberry. But no. As you enter the kitchen, you can see various vermin retreat back to the hidden nests in cracks and crevices. A long-dead rat had met your gaze, their guts spilling out and creating a disgusting sludge pile. Flies and maggots were gorging themselves on the brown and red meal.
Well.
What a nice home-cooked meal, just like Mama made them. Wouldn't you say so as well? As he turned to you, you could see the flies buzzing into and around his mask. He didn't appear bothered in the slightest. So, the entrance, where is it? You were so stunned for a second that your purpose for this expedition escaped you. You shook off the weirdness and recentered yourself. Of course. As you went to activate the hidden door, you continued your recollection of your previous exploits here.
You see?
We came to help our friend Strawberry, who was at the time dealing with issues of her appetite. We found this almost by complete coincidence. You reach under the sink and press the faded silver button. I don't know, I can never voice that. I don't know what that sounds like. The old groaner machinery signaled the activation, and you descended upon the ladder in the facility. We ventured down here originally to see if anyone was in danger, but truthfully, I think it was out of a sense of pure curiosity. Curiosity kills the councilwoman. It's unlucky, or rather, it's lucky, you girls weren't killed, or worse, killed. What? You weren't killed, or worse, killed? Wait, what does he mean by that? Like, it's lucky you girls weren't killed, or worse, killed. Haha. That's a confusing sentence to me for some reason. What? It's lucky you girls weren't killed. Or worse, killed? But like, that's the same thing. What? I'm confused. Anyway. I don't know, but that doesn't make any sense. Why is he saying kill twice? Anyway. You return his unsettling joyfulness with an awkward laugh, continuing forward. Yes, well, when we came down here, we didn't find much apart from a series of eerie life-size dolls. Memorial stopped almost immediately, the entire atmosphere unexplainably unchanged. He responded in an uncharacteristically cold tone.
Oh?
Dolls?
Now that you mention it.
Well, more like puppets, mannequins, something of the sort. Technically, we only found one. Memorial giggled once, then twice, before he exploded into sinister hysterics. He spun around and lunged at you, grabbing your shoulders so hard it hurt. Mannequins? Harlequin. That doesn't rhyme. They should fix that in the next update. Update? What are you talking about?
Hey!
I don't like you, Raspberry. You're not as fit as a fiddle, not as sharp as all of the other tools in the shed. He let go of you and gestured wildly to the facility.
Have you forgotten something?
This whole facility cannot possibly go to waste, no. Not for my grand plan, it's not. Murderers, descendants, thieves, maybe a jaywalker or two if I'm feeling silly. All will come here, will reach into all of their chests and rip their beating cores out of their bodies. Are you implying you wish to make use out of this facility? Not just use it, choose it, fuse it, lose it, abuse it. What? You can't be serious. That's torture. Cruel. You're condemning so many people to an agonizing death. Memorial shrugged.
Whoops.
So what? A criminal is a criminal. The everlasting do it to so many innocents, right? Why not match them?
We're in a losing battle against those terrorists, so we have to send a message. A painful message. A scary message. A lovely little message confessing your undying love and devotion and... Oh, my beginners, did I not give them that? I sure hope I did.
Okay. Memorial seemed to be thinking to himself, forgetting the horrible things he had just said moments before. He looked around the facility and then back at you.
What were we talking about?
There's no
way you're a Council of Witches member. There's just no way.
I can't tell sometimes they're already voiced.
Oh, yeah. I rigged that.
What?
Well, I rig everything. Did you forget my powers are essentially just super gaslighting people?
I don't like the freaking Zoomer slang. What do you mean gaslighting people? You can't just say that. So you mean you've done nothing but lie and cheat your way to the top?
Have you forgotten something?
Jeez, I thought you were a politician. Shouldn't you be used to this by now? Man, I wish Buttons were here. They'd never interrogate me like this. I cannot allow you to go forward with this unethical, delusional idea. I'll be discussing your transgressions with the rest of the Council of Witches. Oh, no. See, that's the fun part. I'm the memory witch. It doesn't matter what you tell them or what they do. Their brains are clay in my hands. Start smashing his two hands together, simulating sculpting. You know, you think someone who's known as the memory witch, you know, someone would keep tabs on them. You know, to be like, wait a minute, he's the memory witch. You can just change everybody's memories. You know, to be like, wait a minute. Does no one remember that he's the memory witch? He's the memory witch, though.
Any bad thoughts or plans against me? A snap of my finger and suddenly they think I'm the most important man in the world. I get whatever I want. I might have even done it to you, and you never know.
He took a step back, now weary.
Why? Why are you telling me any of this?
Because even if you told someone, nobody would believe you.
You tried to retort back, but your voice was trembling.
I'll stop you. I swear it. This is a misuse of your status and duty. You are a sick man who needs to be put in a treatment facility.
Also, wrong title here. I don't know. I don't know if it happened anywhere else in the script, but like this is the wrong name. Memorial's not saying this. It's Raspberry.
Go ahead. Try and stop me. You can't do anything. You're just a simple raspberry witch.
You were done. You dashed away and sped back up the ladder. Memorial's laughter echoed throughout the camp. You needed a plan. You needed to stop this. You just weren't sure quite how yet. You know, you would think it'd be easy the third time. It's actually worse. You place the legs into your bag and rejoin your friend. You know, just the skeleton legs. Yeah, don't worry about that part. Each time I hear his irritating voice, it's like bees are stinging my ears while trying to do a horrible comedy routine. Wow, that was a lot of pressure on you, huh, Raspberry? You have no idea. But how does Raspberry still remember this? You know, what if Memorial changed the memory? He does not do that? But I guess he doesn't want to, because it's more fun this way. The Raspberry sighed, taking a second to sit down and lean against the wall. She was taking a break. You didn't blame her in the slightest.
It's funny. When you center your entire life around one singular goal, it makes you feel like you actually have a purpose. But then, when you're actually there, it's like, oh, wow. This feels so empty. You think that as long as you always strive to do the right thing, things will work out, but the system is so flawed, and people can be so corrupt.
Well, you see, then the only answer is to eliminate them. No, what? Yeah, I feel like it's every villain, though. It's like, everyone is Everyone is corrupt. The system is flawed. So therefore, the answer is to destroy them. Raspberry put her head in her hands, clearly venting out her frustrations after so long balling it up.
Raspberry!
You know, this whole background thing of like politics, I guess, and like the council of witches, but like, I don't know, I feel like the story is just very disconnected from it, so I don't know. What's going on? What's going on? I mean, other than the fact that the memorial is like memorying, you know, manipulating everyone's memories, I guess. But we don't actually see that though. He just says that. I don't know. It's hard to like think like, well, what does that even mean? You know, what does he mean by that? Like he just makes everyone think he's like, you know, he has a role and everything. But what does that entail? You know, what does having a role in the council of witches even mean? You know, like I don't have a lot of context is the problem. You know, it's hard to like. I don't know what the word is, but it's hard to connect the dots, I guess. Anyway, you've been doing a wonderful job, Raspberry. I may not have been around much, but you had enough kindness in your heart to save me. That's gotta count for something, right? Did I, though?
Huh?
Yeah, like an hour ago. No, I mean, Strawberry, you spent so long alone and... Your breath hitched as Raspberry shook her head, choosing to start a new sentence instead of fixing the old one. I wasn't there enough for you, nor was I there enough for Blueberry. Strawberry, fighting for people like you to have a better standing in the world, well, maybe in some ways you've been my main motivation to accomplish this dream. Blueberry, I couldn't be more proud to call you my friend. You're incredibly strong for everything you went through with your parents and your specialty.
You see?
It was your strength that made me realize just how important my dream really was. Girls like us shouldn't have to be ashamed of ourselves. But I feel like I left you both behind. When the apocalypse broke out, I realized I barely made a dent in the world. Yeah, this whole apocalypse thing, I don't know what that is. What does that mean? I actually have no context for that. What do you mean there's an apocalypse? Like, huh? I feel like we didn't talk enough about that, I feel like. Maybe we did, but like it was just kind of referred to. I don't know. Like I don't know what's going on with that. But I decided then and there, if I was going to accomplish anything in my life, it would be to protect my friends from Memorial. I fight for my friends, you know. Dun, 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 dun. Who said that? Was it Ike? Was it Ike or Marth? I actually don't remember. One of the Fire Emblem characters in Smash Brothers. It's like, I fight for my friends. Raspberry, you didn't leave us behind at all. We've always been there.
Sure thing.
Yeah, are you kidding? We've attended all of your debates, every ceremony, even those times you read books to kids at your parents' library. We're like the #1 Raspberry Dick Riders. What? Well,
I...
don't say that. You know Raspberry doesn't like those phrases.
Yeah.
Fine, sorry, we're the #1 Raspberry fans. You know, what's it called? I should remember. I was gonna say like what's the equivalent? Like VTuber, you know, terminology. I mean, Oshi is your favorite VTuber. What's the equivalent of like if you're a #1 fan? I don't know. Actually, I have no idea.
Everything will be okay.
It's kind of like based on idol culture, you know, Japanese idol culture. So what would you call that? I don't know. Anyway, but even though you were busy a lot, we never held that against you. Yeah, we always thought that what you were doing was cool as shit. You call me a nerd every time I made an achievement. Well, that's how I show my love, by calling people nerds.
Almost perfect.
Truly, I don't deserve you to. Say, not to change the topic, you know, of like, I don't know, this whole thing about like, we're like very good friends and everything, and it's kind of sappy, and it's kind of like not interesting to me as a player. I just want people to die. No, it's not to change the topic, but why do you think he keeps having us relive these memories? Who knows what thoughts lurk in the minds of the mad? If I had to guess, he's just screwing with us because he thinks it's funny, the sick bastard. Blueberry began cracking her knuckles.
I'll kick your ass.
Which is why we need to go and knock his teeth out. You and Blueberry reached a hand out to Raspberry. She took both without hesitation, getting herself back on her feet. I don't know how to say this. Lacertate. Lacertate oculis speranza vucit intret. Raspberry? Sorry, just speaking to myself. I don't know what that means. Is it Latin? I don't know. Three of you descend deeper into the hideout. As the last of you went past the door frame, it closed behind you automatically. The three of you progress forward, already wary for whatever tricks this room must hold. Alright, we saw this before. You knew this room. This is where it happened after all. You thought you would be prepared for anything, absolutely anything. That was until you caught a glimpse of a familiar green cloak. Raspberry placed an arm in front of you. She adjusted her glasses, squinting her eyes at the figure.
Excuse me.
Who are you? I'm not sensing any magic from your form.
Huh?
Do you think a human from SUI somehow got into this dimension? No. That's not them. You felt tears well up inside your eyes. Why? You took their bones and now you dress like them.
My best friend. They're dead. You're just doing this to be cruel, but I don't understand why.
Oh, this was a bad idea.
Oh, isn't this the other guy? Buttons? It was just Buttons. The figure removed their cloak, revealing themselves to be the dress-up witch you had countless unanswered questions about. Wait, is that what they're called? Is that what Buttons is? Literally the dress-up witch? Is that their thing? You know, they just dress up?
Please don't cry, Miss Strawberry.
I still don't really understand what you're doing, or why, but please, just... please, stop.
You asshole, you made Strawberry cry.
I'll kick your ass.
I'm gonna flatten you like a pancake.
My apologies.
Reminds me of the bad ending that we got recently. I'm sorry. I just, this plan made more sense in my mind.
Now that you mention it...
I don't mean to insinuate anything negative, nor come off as rude, but do you even have one of those?
Huh?
Have one of what? Like a... Wait, hold on. A plan, I guess? Is that what they mean? Oh. The poor figure in front of you began to shrink into themselves, looking very self-conscious.
I have a mind, I think.
Ah.
So they gave the prototypes working minds. Interesting. Oh, a mind, not a plan. Prototypes?
Dude.
This is like actually painful to watch. How could you? You took a few steps forward towards Buttons, practically seething with anger. Cope and seethe. You couldn't remember the last time you got genuinely mad about something. No, miss. I didn't mean to upset you. They were all I had in that desolate place. The only thing that kept me together. They're the reason I'm still here and you're parading around their cloak. You could feel something building up. Something bad. Then you saw how scared Buns looked, and it brought you back to a certain time, cowering in the kitchen just as scared and helpless.
Fuck.
You took a few steps, holding your face in your hands to regain yourself. No, you should give in to your anger though. Give in to your anger, Gohan. Become Super Saiyan 2. It appeared as though Blueberry and Raspberry weren't sure how to proceed with this either. They looked shocked, understandable considering you weren't the type to swear. You hated using swears yourself, you even know how that managed to slip out. It's just what they would have said. I'm assuming the cloak figure, isn't that just the player? I'm assuming, unless the player was a character, I don't remember actually. But I'm assuming it's the player, right, from the first game. On the other, they're just a generic cloaked character. How's the player character now? Like, it's weird. Like they're like a character from the third person, but like they're still not like an actual character, you know? So they're still like vague and, I don't know, ambiguous. Also, it's like just what they would have said, as in the player character. Wait, they have a personality? You know, so how's that work? They're like a self-insert, but also they're not a self-insert? It's confusing. You took a deep breath in, trying to compose yourself.
Do you want to do over, Buttons?
Would that be okay?
Why? He's the enemy. Or she, or they? Again, I don't know. I keep misgendering everybody in video games, so I have no idea. Oh, somehow this message got past the filters, by the way. Oh, we get past best viewers. I gotta like put down the block list, actually. Hold on, I'm actually gonna do that right now. I can't ban from the OBS window. Anyway, hold on. So real quick. Need to, for one... What's the hotkey again? This, right. That hotkey. Then I go over here. Then I go do that. Then I do this. And then I go to my and then I go over here. Yeah, I gotta go to my Twitch thing. I gotta go to, where is it? Settings, moderation. Oh, but then again, it only blocks it for Twitch. Well, I guess, well, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I also have to block it for YouTube too. So, where is it? Message, settings. Where's the thing that I forgot where it was? There's a way to block certain keywords on Twitch. I don't remember where it is. Well, I don't want to take too long here. I wanted to add it now before I forget, you know? You think it'd be under moderation. Moderator. Advanced settings. Verification. Chat rules. Auto mod. Here we go. Blocked terms and phrases. It's a new thing. Look, I mean, I guess... Can I show this? I don't know. I mean, are there any swears? I don't think there is. Hopefully this is fine. Well, what I'm doing is this. I'm just adding another term. You know, it's like best viewers, best viewers, best viewers, best viewers, cheap viewers, cheap viewers. Want to become famous? Big follows. You know, it's like a lot of these freaking block terms. Most of them, they don't really work, but some of them catch. There's the .com. That's just normal, but best viewers. That's been caught like 17 times. So, and this one 9 times. I gotta add a new one. Gotta add it to the list. Best viewers. You know? Gotta add best viewers. I guess all these are best viewers on. I guess that message didn't have on in it for some reason. That's the only difference. Anyway. Close that. Docs the Twitch player, which I don't think docs anything. I just want to be careful. Anyway. What do you say?
Would that be okay?
Would that be okay? You nodded, a bit embarrassed by your display of a bit embarrassed by your display of a perfectly normal and justified emotion.
Oh, come on! You can't just...
No. Go on. Just
okay.
Start over. We'll pretend that we didn't see that.
Raspberry!
Okay, I'll just exit the room and come back.
Again, aren't they a villain? At least the antagonist, anyway. They're helping the antagonist, the person that's trapped us in this very place in the first place, you know? Why are we giving any benefit of the doubt? Why are we entertaining this in the first place? Buttons staggered out of the room, nearly tripping over their own feet as they walked out. You looked over, noticing Raspberry stifling a laugh. She was making those faces you knew she made when she thought something was really funny, but was trying to be professional. The three of you stood there in perfect silence, only for it to be broken by an annoyed groan from Blueberry and faint giggles from Raspberry after a full 60 seconds had passed. Buttons emerged again, limping to the room with a neatly folded green cloak in their arms, and a human skull resting on top of it. There was a shift in the energy in the room. All three of you could feel it, and you had a feeling the next moves you were to make, should be very carefully thought through. Okay, I have to say this. I went back into your bakery and got the cloak. Forgive me for wearing it. I like dressing up. Are we really entertaining this? Blueberry whispered, looking at Raspberry and you with a quizzical look. He looked over to Buttons. Truthfully, he didn't know much about them, nor the role they played in all of this. Whenever you saw them before, they always seemed so scared and uncomfortable around you, but now they were so friendly. I'll just take that back now, thank you. When they, when it was mentioned that they were the dress-up witch, was that like sarcastic or like actually a thing? I don't know, I can't tell. Because maybe it's not magic, maybe it's just literally they just wore the cloak for fun. So in that case, it's not really their power. In fact, are they not I guess they're not a witch? They said they were a prototype? I don't know. You smiled sympathetically, reaching your shaky arms out to take what was originally yours. Until Buns took a step back, clutching the items close to their chests. Wait, one moment.
Miss Strawberry.
I need to speak with you. First, please. You gave Raspberry and Blueberry an unsure look. Wordlessly, Raspberry grabbed into your hand and squeezed it. I'm sorry about the forest. He squeezed Raspberry's hand and turned, resisting the urge to break down to tears once more. But I spoke with Mr. Memorial and...
Miss Raspberry.
May I ask a question?
All right.
I suppose you may, but I cannot guarantee an answer.
How is it that witches are made?
Well, you see... When a... I don't know, when a berry loves another berry very much, I guess.
Oh, it's a fascinating topic, actually. 3 or more witches, usually a member of the Council of Witches, perform this ritual where they extract matter from the remains of a previous life form in order to create a new one.
3, huh? Specifically 3?
Could the remains be anything, Miss Raspberry?
Well, the more complete the remains are, the better. You couldn't perform it with just a singular hand or even just a brain. You'd need something a bit more.
I see.
And this might just work.
Huh?
Oz? Wait, Strawberry, is that why you brought the bones of you in the first place?
Dude.
We can't possibly bring a new witch into existence with Memorias going on a genocidal rampage.
Don't forget.
After you get this skull, you'll have a complete skeleton.
Mr. Memorial.
Said that he will be willing to spare one more witch should you choose to come with us. That is to say, he will be more than willing to reincarnate your companion into a witch, but only if you leave with us. Now. You pause for a moment, uncertainty painted across your face. Well, yes, I did know about the ritual, conveniently, told to us, like, right this very moment. And maybe that's why I brought the bones with me. But I can't just leave Raspberry and Blueberry behind, Buttons. Surely you must understand that. How would you? How would you know that they would understand that? You barely met them. You barely know them. Isn't there any other way they could come along too?
My apologies.
I'm afraid not, Miss Strawberry. Miss Blueberry and Miss Raspberry were not extended the same invitation that you were.
This is illogical.
Something's not right here. I'll say, this whole mess is confusing. And what's your deal with Strawberry anyways? She ain't got nothing to do with you. Buns flinched, stumbling backwards. They started shaking ever so suddenly before their gaze returned to you.
Miss Strawberry.
Please. Please don't go. Please stay. Let me make things right. Your eyes drifted down to the skull, then back up to your friends. I saved the game. Save the game. I feel like the bad ending is like, obviously going with Buttons. Why are we going with Buttons anyway? What do you mean make it right? What do you mean by that? How did the player die anyway in the first place? I don't remember. I mean, the original game, there were multiple bad endings, but generally speaking, in the good endings, so, rather the, so-called good ending or whatever it was, they just kind of hang out with Strawberry, They're like, I read your diary. I know all about your trauma. I invaded your privacy, and like, like snooped around and like, you know, I now know everything that happened to you, and then they're like, and they get along, I guess. I don't know. You know, it's like the government, or oh, it's not just that. You know how like the government like knows all about you, whatever. They like FBI surveillance or whatever. But it's not just the government; it's also corporations. Corporations also know everything about you. Anyway, like if a corporation, the government does it, it's not okay. But apparently, when it's a random stranger, it's fine. Anyway, so we have a choice. Looks like it's a binary choice. Unlike Buttons' gender. Huh? Anyway. Go Buttons, always stand by your friends. It seems like stand by your friends is like the good idea. It's like, you know, it's like you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be your friends. I fight for my friends. That's like the wholesome answer. But I want to see what happens if we simply abandon our friends and be like, actually, sure, why not? See what happens. Kind of like a mean choice. Just do that out of nowhere. Seems very uncharacteristic of Strawberry. But why not? You look back at your friends, then at Buns.
Are you sure?
Can I just look at them? You asked this question with a tired expression in your eyes. It was one that your friends had much pity for. You really must have been an awful person, huh? Buns took a step closer, holding up the skull on top of the cloak for you to see. You couldn't hear what your friends were saying over your shoulder. You knew they were speaking to you, but all you could hear was a loud ringing in your ears. You missed them. You missed them more than anything. Where were the others when you were all alone? You can't leave them alone, not after everything they did for you. Wordlessly, you looked up at Buns and suddenly nodded at them. Buns didn't seem to expect this answer from you, judging by their shocked expression. They grabbed your hand, dashing out the door while dragging you behind them.
Huh?
Hey, Strawberry! Your friends called out to you, but you kept running. They both were powerful witches, and you fully expected them to catch up with you. That was until Buns pulled you off into a side room, where you seemed to have lost them in the chase. It was dark, the only sounds being that of your own erratic breaths.
Buttons, are you still here?
You felt something sharp stab into your neck. You couldn't breathe, choking on your own blood as you felt it pour out of you like waterfalls cascading down a mountain. Pour? You spelled pour wrong. Typo. Falling to your knees, you held onto your throat, desperate to stop the bleeding, to save your own life. Wasn't the whole point of this to save your own life? That's what you get for being selfish, you thought to yourself. So now, the moral of the story, continue to be a people pleaser and never think about your own feelings ever. You deserve this more than anyone. You collapsed into the ground as the lights flickered, finally illuminating the room as the light in your eyes faded.
I am so sorry. Please forgive me. It was the only way. Please, please don't hate me. I didn't want to do this. But this plan, all of this, it's all Mr. Memorial cares about. I couldn't betray him. I couldn't let him down, not after everything he's done for me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Miss Strawberry.
I don't know, seems a little... what's the word? Everything Button says is like so... unconvincing? I don't know if that's the right word. Like, insincere, I guess. He's like, I'm sorry I stabbed you with my scissors. I stabbed you and then you died. You know, he's like, no, you're not. You're just saying that. I don't know. That's just your or not personality. That's just your voice. That's just how you sound like. I don't know. Anyway, bad ending. Strawberry. Puree. How do you say that? I pronounce that puree. Stab, stab, stab. Alright, well, obviously, it just turns out Buns was lying. You know, in the most, like, I don't know, pathetic way, somehow it worked. You know, it's like, by the way, you can live, if you come with me, It's like, it's the most pathetic attempt at, like, trying to murder you, I guess. Or to trick you, whatever. But it turns out, in an alternative universe, where you're that dumb, I guess, it works, Because really, that's what I was saying in the very beginning. Why would you even trust them in the first place? They're, like, working with the person that's actively antagonizing you, Like, what are you doing? There's no reason to believe them. Anyway. Continue. Let's go back here, I guess. Well, obviously, we should pick the correct option and stand by your friends. Omodachi. Thank you for the offer, but I'm not abandoning my friends. That just wouldn't sit right with me.
I see.
Pity. I wonder if they feel abandoned right now. Buns held the skull up to their own head, inspecting it thoroughly. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him well, Horatio. Guilt coursed through your veins. The last thing you wanted to think about right now was their death, yet you couldn't escape from it. You failed them. You failed all of them. You were selfish. Horribly selfish. You're not a shellfish. You're a fruit. Though, that's enough. You were snapped out of your own thoughts when you felt a gentle squeeze to your hand.
This is illogical.
This isn't adding up. The specific focus on strawberry. What's the true reason for it? Yeah, I want to know that too. Yeah, me three. It isn't like Memorial to not instantaneously take what he wants. Sure, he's the type to play with his food, but this is too strange. Even for him, he's dancing around an issue.
Miss Raspberry.
I'm afraid I'm just as clueless as you, Miss Raspberry. I cannot possibly believe that to be true.
Now that you mention it...
Buns, may I ask you a question? It's only fair, considering you asked one of me, right? The smaller being simply nodded, clutching onto the skull anxiously. When Memorial threw Blowberry across the room earlier, he aimed for me, not Strawberry. When performing the interview, in fact, he primarily focused on Strawberry. He even implied he would spare her life. That seems rather contradictory to his plan, wouldn't you agree? Is that your question? No, I'm not finished talking.
You see?
If Memorial was truly dead set on eliminating every witch in existence, then he should want Strawberry dead just as badly. Is that what he said? It's been a week, so I don't remember. Was that his plan? Because he kept referring to a plan of some sort. I wasn't sure what that meant. I just assumed like world domination. I don't know. Maybe he did say that in the very beginning. I just forgot about it. He's using his memory powers. I blame his memory powers. He simply used his memory powers to make me, the player, playing this game, forget. Totally. But he can't kill her, can he? That's why he sent her to that suicide forest pocket dimension and locked her inside. Why else would you send someone to SUI unless you wanted them to end their own life? SUI. They keep saying that. I don't know what... I don't know, anyway. I'm assuming that... Is that referring to the pocket dimension, or... I'm not sure, anyway. That's
why he's been putting us through this big, elaborate game. He mustn't be able to kill her. It's the only explanation.
It's funny, so Raspberry's like, objection, It's just like, Phoenix, right. I guess that's true when I think about it, yeah. I guess it's kind of true. Maybe, I don't know, because I remember, it's particularly the freezing in the fridge, or freezing in, well, what do you call it, a fridge or a freezer? Is it a walk-in freezer? Anyway, when she froze to death, that was the only time when Memorial came in and killed everyone else, right? So maybe that is why, like she has to die from some other means instead. Wait, holy shit, that actually explains a lot.
Please don't do that.
Now, let's not jump to conclusions. Miss Strawberry and him have no connection. It wouldn't make sense for him to be physically unable to cause her harm. That we know of.
You see?
His powers are quite literally manipulating memories. I wouldn't put it past him in the slightest to cover it up. Hey guys, he's not here right now, right? He's nearby, I can assure you. And you don't have any magic. And there's 3 of us and 1 of you. Buns look at Blueberry, then Raspberry, then you. After a second of silence, they quickly stumbled out the door again, taking the cloak and bones with them. Hey, get back here! Blueberry shouted, running after them at top speed. It took mere seconds for her to catch up, quickly pinning them to the floor. You and Raspberry quickly followed behind her, surrounding the pinned down being with varying expressions, all of them some form of upset. I've been wanting to do this whole damn time. No, not the face, please. Give us a skull and I'll think about sparing you. Here, take it, it's yours. Just please don't hurt me. Buns tossed the skull across the room, which caused you to immediately rush to grab it. Sliding across the floor, you hesitated as you looked at it. I've got a bone to pick with you, dress-up witch. You think that just because you act all scared that we're gonna forgive you working for a genocidal maniac? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you mean? Like, I see through you. It's nothing more than an act, huh? Just as fake as this. Blueberry gripped her fingers around Buns' mask, beginning to pry it off of them. Oh, it's a mask? I thought it was like their face. You know, they try to rip off their face. It's just blood and guts underneath. I don't know. Stupid mask. They ripped the tragedy mask away from their face, breaking into tiny pieces on the floor the very second you grab a hold of the skull. Suddenly it's this. Oh, because of the flashback, that's right. Because as soon as you touch the skull, I guess. Gears. Who's Gears? I don't know. You can't keep calling them Miss Bakersfield. Oh, Cherry Pie. Cherry from the other game. I don't know what her voice would have been. I don't know. It was just some slices of pie. I don't see what the big problem is. They looked so curious. I didn't see the harm in indulging that. These beings were made to use, not to indulge. When you finally have control of everything, they will replace every last witch and the role that they fill. If you gave them substances infused with witch cores, it could... Well, I'm not sure what it would do exactly. They aren't supposed to have souls. What would happen if you spoon-fed bits of existing souls to them? I need to run some tests. Oh, no you don't. You gave 0 to me, not the other way around. That's where you're wrong, my dear. I let you overlook their development, but... It was rarely ever quiet on the ground. You've heard many sounds in your short existence. Banging, clattering, yelling, begging, pleading, mechanical whirring, chewing, ripping, dripping, and more things you haven't quite learned the words for yet. You've long since grown used to the distant screams coming from rooms that your creators have forbidden you to enter, and to the echo of unhinged arguments that constantly reverberated through the walls, or the halls rather. However, today was different. Today was different and you could feel it. You could hear it. You heard something new. You believe you knew the word for it. Shattering. The sound of porcelain colliding with the floor. You willed yourself to take a single step forward, albeit a tad clumsily. Another shatter. A sense of urgency washed over you, one that you didn't understand the reasoning for. Perhaps you didn't like the sound, how close the sound was getting to you. You felt yourself get dizzier the faster you tried to walk, getting closer to the noise. You didn't quite nail your motor functions on the first try. You didn't mind stumbling and limping to get where you needed to go, but now it was proving to be a rather large inconvenience. You just wanted everything to be okay. Want. That was a new feeling for you. You never wanted before. Another shatter. It seemed to be nearby. A different sound, clattering, like the sound of your own limbs shaking rapidly and colliding with your joints. Shatter, clatter, shatter, clatter. Step, step, step. Prototype 4. Who's saying that? 0? I don't know who 0 is. Is it the doll? Doll-like limbs coated the floor beneath you, some intact, but most in shards along the ground. A thick black ooze began to coat your feet, something they must put inside the later prototypes you presumed. You shuddered as you instinctively tried stepping out of the mess. Looking up, you noticed the fourth prototype holding some sort of long pipe. What are you? They were going to discard me. They were going to discard most of us, keep only a few, using some scraps and spare parts. Painful, alone, lonely, forgotten. You have to understand. Understand it was me or them. We can't both exist. We can't both thrive. I need to be better. I need to be the best. The clattering returned, but now you had visuals to recognize the source of the sound. Thor was shaking. It's either me or you. The next few moments happened so fast, but to you it felt you were stuck frozen for an eternity. Similar limbs to yours, clumsy and graceless, tackled you down. Thor was strangling your torso with animalistic fever in their expression. You felt something collide directly with your eye. Shatter. Dizzy, hurt? Make it stop. What's happening? Warm, it should be warm. Ears ringing, wrong. Clatter, stop it. Why? It hurts too much. There's a lot of things going on so fast. It's automatic. Shatter. The vision in your working eye was still blurry. Your mind delayed a few moments behind the rest of time. You felt the body of the fourth prototype collapse on top of you. When your vision cleared, you saw your former friend, missing their head completely. It was in pieces, scattered all around you. You couldn't help but feel like it was your fault. Hey. Are you okay? Busta Wolf up. You couldn't move, you couldn't speak. Hurried footsteps approached you, pulling you out from underneath the rogue prototype. Hey, look at me. Can you move? Are you broken? You were propped upright, staring at a rather unusual sight. Okay, I mean, that looks like Memorial without the mask, I guess. He's all hollowed. You know, he didn't eat enough humanity. A lanky figure knelt down in front of you. They had messy pink hair and clothes that didn't seem to fit them quite right. The skin around their face, well, it would be more accurate to describe it as a lack of skin. You move your head slightly, looking up at your savior. You know, it's funny, well, that's what I was describing, you know, when you took off the mask, you know, it would just be like flesh, I guess. But that's not, it's not Buttons that has that, it's Memorial, I guess. Phew. So you can move. That's good. Well, I think I landed on the name Memorial. Better than Brainy or Morium. You're Zero, right? Cherry told me about you. At least I think she did. My brain's a bit scattered as of late. I'm sure you must know how that feels, huh? You opened your mouth but no words came out. Ah, gee. Look at the mess they made. This isn't looking too good. Knowing Gears, he's not going to be happy. Gears, your creator, the inventor witch. Shit, this isn't just a pickle, it's a whole broken pickle jar. Multicolored pickles, pickles with spots, pickles with stripes, all sorts of pickled mayhem. That didn't make a lot of sense, did it? I really am losing my mind by using these powers so much, aren't I? Thank you. Something about Memorial's face seemed to soften for a second, although it was a tad hard to tell given the lack of expressive features. Well, we can't let anything bad happen to you now, can we? No, you didn't deserve this. Don't worry, I'll come up with something. If they see that you're the last one standing, you'll surely be blamed for the carnage. Carnage was a new word for you. The immediate word association ran rapidly through your mind. Carnage, clatter, shatter. Shatter? You stared down your hands, your eye wandering towards the bodies on the floor. Panic flooded your mind as the sounds seemed to repeat themselves, getting louder and louder until they were deafening. For the first time in your existence, you felt your body begin to overheat. You didn't know you were even capable of that. It was an unsettling warmth. It felt wrong. You felt wrong, unable to regain control. Hey, stay me, Zero. You tried to force your vision to focus back on this one speaking to you, but it felt impossible when the world seemed to be blacking out on you. It's okay. I'm gonna make it all go away, alright? Go away? How? Well, let's just say, hypothetically, you got the ability to turn into a witch, like Cherry or a Butcher. You would have a theme, for lack of better words. Wait, how do you know about Butcher? I guess Butcher was part of the freaking Everlasting, you know? You'd think it would be too obvious, you know, the meat witch that has a big butcher knife that's just unsettlingly has just a meat face, but actually they are a freaking cannibal, like everlasting witch, as it turns out. You know, they were like an evil witch. It's kind of like too obvious, you know, but like, I don't know. But I assume that's why Memorial, who I assume is also kind of like a prototype thing, you know, knows about Butcher. And of course Cherry, who's also part of the cult. Or I guess, you know, in this flashback anyway, before she went to prison, I'm assuming. Or was she in prison? I don't remember. Like, did she die or was she in prison? I think she went to prison, right? She went to a magic prison. What would you want yours to be? Want? Not supposed to want. Never wanted, at least not until today. Oh, and what is it that you wanted? I just want to forget all about all of this. You know, Zero, I think we might be able to help each other out here. My powers, I'm still getting used to them, but I think they might just do the trick. I can manipulate memories. I can make people forget, make people remember. I can change their memories to be something horrible if I wanted to, and they would believe it to be the undeniable fact. However, I can't seem to get myself to forget something that's happened to me. No matter how hard I try, it always slips through the cracks of my magic. But if I were to transfer that memory, it just might work. I could do this for you too. I'll hold on to your memory and you'll never have any recollection that this event even occurred. In exchange, you'll hold some memories of mine. We'll keep them safe, especially from each other. This is like toxic somehow. This is like some weird, like toxic. I was gonna say yaoi. It's technically not yaoi because I don't know. Anyway, but you know, similar. Oh, with these, a funny little mask. You looked down and saw two masks being held out. There. You looked down and saw two masks being held out towards you, one happy and one sad. I'll put our memories into these masks, and we'll wear them at all times to keep them safe. They'll also serve to hide your identity. You won't be a prototype anymore. You have to pretend to be a witch for this plan to work. What do you say? You can pick what kind of witch you want to be. I'll even help you fake your powers if I have to. Okay, I still don't know if the, you know, they said the dress-up witch, you know, I still don't know if that was meant to be sarcastic or not. Because it seems like a useless power, right? No. What do you mean dress-up witch? Well, it's not that useless. I would call it something else, you know, like the disguise witch or something, you know? That sounds better. Or the camouflage witch. I don't know. When you say dress-up, it just makes you think like it's like a dress-up doll. Anyway, you thought to yourself what you would want to be outside of what you were made to do. You tried to recall the happiest moment of your existence. You saw inside your mind's eye Cherry Pie. She had her closet open, and there were clips in your hair. She put you in a variety of outfits that day, all the while complimenting you. It was the first time you received a compliment, well, without doing anything to achieve it. You quite liked that feeling. You wouldn't mind feeling that way all the time. This happened in the Cherry game? I actually don't remember. Was that like a thing? Like there was like a doll that she was...
dressing up.
That she was dressing up or something? I don't remember, actually. Memorial seemed to chuckle a bit, as if this was a response they hadn't foreseen.
Well, you'll be the greatest dress-up witch the world has ever seen. We'll get all sorts of outfits for you. You'll be as cute as a button.
Button?
Hey, that wouldn't be a bad witch name. Buttons. It's so cute. I like it.
Okay. You know, it's funny. We get like an origin story of like Memorial buttons and everything, but like, why? I don't know. You know, like, why do we need this? Is this important to the plot? I'm not sure. Anyway, so I feel like, I don't know. To me, as a player, it just feels a little phoned in to be like, hey, this is the backstory of these guys. It's like, but maybe I don't want to know. I don't know. It depends, though. I guess it depends. Like, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But it depends if it's related to the plot, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, like, I feel like we spent a lot of time trying to like build up these backstories for these characters. It just feels like, I don't know. It doesn't feel natural, I guess, you know? It just kind of feels like a little... What's the word again? Phoned in, but not phoned in. It's, contrived, I guess? Contrive is the word, right? But, I don't know, maybe that's just me right now. Anyway.
What do you say, Buttons? Are you in?
It's like there's a bunch of OCs, you know, and the writer wants you to, you know, get all their backstories, make sure they explain all the backstories. That's how it feels like, anyway. With a blinding glow, the mask's memorial had held began to float in front of you. Extending from the top of your hero's head, a pink ball of light emerged. It sunk into the frowny face mask, which hovered closer and closer to you. And they also don't explain the magic thing. I mean, they don't have to, I guess. It's just like, why specifically these masks? It's magic, I guess. It's just magic, you know? Don't worry about it. You reached out and touched the mask, right? Because it feels like this whole backstory is just to explain why the mask is important, and then the mask that gets destroyed. Like, it just feels, again, contrived, because, like, why explain this, like, right before the mask becomes relevant, you know? Like, again, I'm so used to, like, what I like in the story, anyway, is foreshadowing, right? Chekhov's guns and things like that, right? Like, these things need to be explained a lot earlier in the story, and a lot more subtly. And then it becomes relevant later, right? Rather than like right before. Oh, by the way, you know, turns out this MacGuffin is important, you know? It's like, because of this random backstory. Anyway, maybe I'm just complaining. Handing the magical hair drying device to your girlfriend, you chuckled. Wait a minute, what? What's this? Hair drying device to your girlfriend? What happened? The context just completely changed. Who? Dare. Now who? There, that ought to do it.
Oh?
Are you sure your parents won't get mad at you for this? Cyan? Who? Who? No, oh no, they're definitely gonna get mad at me. Mom has a weird thing about changing her hair. I think she's, morphobic or something? I don't know. Morphobic. What's morphobic?
Huh?
Morphobic. The bias against people who change their physical appearance drastically.
Wow!
Maybe we should try to get the hair dye out?
Aw, straw baby.
Who is this? You know? Well, it reminds me of Blueberry. Is this just Blueberry? Why do they keep changing the name? It's just confusing to me. Wait, but what was it before? Wait, no, wait. No, were they signed before? What? I don't remember actually. What was their name? Maybe I'm the one that's, you know, maybe I'm the morphobic. No, I guess their name was Cyan, right? Because I was thinking, like, wait, who's Cyan? It's like, wait a minute, maybe their name was Cyan before, and now they're Blueberry, right? What was it? Was that what it was? And this is the part where they become a woman, you know, basically. Reminds me of, what's her face? I mean, it's because of the pink hair, I guess, but it reminds me of, what's her face from Amori? You know, Aubrey, right? Aubrey? Like, you know, the grown-up version. Anyway, a little late for that, straw baby. Straw baby. Oh, Saya, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you would get in trouble for this. Dude, it's okay. Dee won't be getting mad at you. I really want to do this, okay? If I didn't want this, I wouldn't have asked you for help. Okay, I know how difficult family stuff can get sometimes. So if you ever need anything, I'm always here for you, you know? Oh, Strawberry. My parents are just grumpy old coots. I can handle them. They're not like your sister, who's a crazy cannibal cultist. Anyway, you saw Strawberry look down at the floor, causing you to instantaneously regret ever bringing her up in the first place.
Hey!
Shit. Hey, you okay? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Maybe.
You're sure your parents will go too crazy? I don't want you to get hurt.
Huh?
Hurt? Are you scared Cherry's gonna hurt you?
Huh?
I am... Strawberry, here, give me your pinky. You extend your own pinky finger out towards her.
You know how magical promises work, right? We're going to make one.
But those are for serious things. They're unbreakable.
Break the unbreakable. You know, do the impossible. Roll, fight the power.
Taking this seriously. Come on, give me your pinky.
You watch the anxious girl hesitantly extend her pinky finger out to you as well. You interlock your fingers, properly ready to make a magical promise. A soft glow looped in circles around your hands, yet you didn't break eye contact with Strawberry.
I, Cyan Onruep, promise that I will never, ever let harm come your way. If I can help it, of course. I know I can't prevent bad things from happening to you entirely, but I won't let anyone physically harm you if I'm there, okay?
Well, that didn't work out, you know, because she was stuck in the suicide forest for like several years. But anyway, but you can't just make a magical promise like that. Those are permanent. Raspberry said something awful happens if you break those. The glow between your hands faded, your own smile wanting. Well, you see, you have to swallow 1,000 needles. Literally. Well, too late, I just did. Seriously, I'm not gonna let anyone hurt you, so no need to worry, okay?
Aw, stop.
Again, didn't work out like some of the other games. You had like a lot of bad endings. Anyway, come on now, line up. Where's that cheerful girl I fell so hard for? Oh yeah, and they were like an item? I guess that makes sense. I mean, that was hinted. I guess, not been hinted, it's kind of obvious, but like, Raspberry did mention that they were flirting, you know? When they first, at some point in one of the scenes, I did notice, and it's like, what do you mean flirting, you know? I thought they were just friends, but no. Because well, she mentioned that they were just friends. Like, whenever Strawberry was referring to Blueberry and Raspberry, they're like, oh, my friends, or whatever. But like, I don't know. But why were you flirting before? I don't know. I mean, technically they're friends, but you're missing like a word before that. Anyway, what are you saying we go and show Raspberry? Yeah. You just internally bonded your soul to hers. We need to do that with the same cadence you would use picking a favorite cereal. Probably fueled by the same impulsivity that caused you to steal your counselor's hair dye in the first place. Still, you provide Strawberry with a sense of guaranteed safety that caused her shoulders to loosen up. She seemed anxious, sure, but significantly less tense than before. A smile started to form on that face you adore so much.
Yes!
She's gonna love it. I do admit, pink looks so good on you. You're so pretty, Cyan. How do you pronounce that? Cyan? Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. And this is to go even further beyond Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Ultra Instinct. No, no, you.
You're so cute.
Come on, let's go. Hee hee hee. You know, hee hee hee. Wait, what? But I'm confused again. I thought... I don't know. I don't know anything. Having had the two of you made your way in front of the cabins fairly quickly, you spot your friend Raspberry. And your older brother. You're not looking forward to his reaction. Wait a minute. Without confused. I'm super confused. I'm so confused. Wait, but who's who? But I thought... But then I'm so confused. I'm just confused, I guess. But I thought... But then 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 I... Anyway. Right there with you? Yeah, I don't know. I thought... I guess I thought wrong. What happens? We make assumptions, I guess. Your older and your older brother. And your older brother. You're not looking forward to his reaction.
Hi!
Right, Azure. No, that was his name, right? I thought it was Cyan. No, Azure. Again, it's been a while, so it's been a week, so I forgot. But no, so it's not Azure changing the Cyan to Blueberry. Rather, Cyan was Blueberry, but then Azure was. Okay. So Azure is a different character. Okay. But then they were so similar, so like, that's what I thought. Raspberry, Azure, look what we did. Oh, hello, you two.
Huh?
Oh, my beginners, what do you do to your hair, Cyan? I mean, it looks lovely, but...
Huh?
I wonder what were you thinking? I thought it would look cool, so I did it. It's because they're very similar. Look, it's the similar little... Because of this symbol, right? I'm assuming it's the family crest, I guess, in that case, but... That's the first thing I think of, right? The symbol. And of course, she looks a lot like Blueberry. There's even the same hair. So I don't know. I mean, it could be the case that... Well, I guess we'll see. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I guess Cyan and Azure are two different characters. I thought they were the same character. Where'd you get hair dye? Please tell me that's not permanent.
Nah.
Still different, counselor. It's super mega ultra permanent.
Oh, really?
Mom's gonna kill you, skin you alive, eat you for breakfast. You know how she feels about this stuff.
Hey!
It could live with the eating people sayings. We talked about this, yeah, considering the everlasting cult that literally eats people. Azure walked closer to you, touching the ends of your hair with a quizzical look. You batted his hand away dismissively. Also, kind of wait. Huh, well... Okay, so like... The way the memory flashbacks work, I mean, from the logic of the universe and the game, I guess. The way it works is that whenever they touch the weird skeleton pieces, you know, they get flashbacks, right, from the memories. And it has to be their own memories, so either it's from Strawberry's perspective, or what we learned was the Raspberry's perspective. So this has to be from Blueberry's perspective, right? Because right now, the game is being narrated from Blueberry, right? And also, I guess the other flashback with Buns, I guess, but, you know. It has to be from the perspective of the characters that are in the present time. So in that case, Azure is not... I don't know. Like, Azure is not the character Blueberry, right? So it has to be Cyan. It's kind of like a... Again, it's... Well, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's kind of like a... what's the word? A bait and switch, you know, because there's this whole arc, right, from the earlier, where Azure was all about like, oh, you know, I don't want to be a weapon witch, I want to be a blueberry witch or whatever, right? Or was it blueberry? Something like blueberry or something like that. That was like a whole thing. So again, it's like confusing, right? Or did he want to be a blueberry or like, or some kind of like, you know, gardening witch, right? Like gardening witch. That's what you mentioned. Anyway. Why'd you do this? Answer... Or, why'd you do this? Answer me. I just said... The real reason, Cyan, now.
Dude, what gives?
Dude, I thought it'd be fun to have matching hair colors with Strawberry. There, you happy? Sure, they're not the exact same color, but now we're pink buddies. Pink buddies. Ah, wait, that's so sweet. You felt two small arms wrap around your torso, squeezing you from the side. You couldn't help but giggle. She was just too adorable. How old is she? You know, I'm just thinking, like everyone just looks younger. So I'm like, I don't know how old she is. But I guess Azure's the older brother, though. She's actually younger. I don't know. She looks older. I guess it's because of the fact that, you know, I'm just thinking about Blueberry, right? She just kind of looks a lot like Blueberry, so looks like the adult version. Azure's eye was twitching so much you swore it was about to pop out of the socket. Just don't get it, do you? Can you take anything seriously?
What?
Lighten up. You know mom's rules are stupid anyways. I thought you appreciate a little rebellion.
Mom and Dad don't know about you and Strawberry, do they?
You wouldn't.
Oh, okay, they're just saying that.
Of course I wouldn't. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. And I just know, the second they find out you've been dating a ditzy little Berrywitch, the infamous cannibal sister, no less, they're going to disown you.
It's kind of a weird thing to say, by the way. The infamous cannibal sister.
You have natural talent. You can't just throw that away for some girl who's going to end up with a field cafe that nobody wants to go to.
That's kind of mean. Is this before or after they, like, became friends? Because this is after. This is like a horrible thing to say to your friend. Azure.
Hey!
You can berate me all you want, but I'm more than used to it. But the second you bring my girlfriend into things, we're gonna have a problem.
Dude, what gives?
I thought you liked Strawberry. Wait, I do. It's just, you know what Dad's gonna say. Exactly, that's what Dad would say. I expected better from you. You're just as bad as they are.
But what if...
You two, careful now.
This doesn't involve you!
Raspberry took a step back, sighing as she pulled Strawberry back with her. You really want to go there, huh? I'll go further than there. You, me, witch duel now. Raspberry, you moderate. What happened to this not involving me? Raspberry, you moderate.
Alright.
You be the moderator. You be the Twitch mod. Wait, guys. I really don't think this is necessary. I don't want either of you to get hurt. I really don't like violence, especially between two people I care about.
You're so cute.
That voice line. It's okay. We do this kind of thing all the time. We train together daily, remember? This is a bit further than that. I need to teach this asshole a lesson. You and your brother turn your backs towards each other, taking 10 paces away from the other.
All right.
One round. The aim is to disarm and knock down, or can't speak. The aim is to disarm or knock down, not to kill. Hitting any villains or passerbys will get you disqualified. Disqualified from what? From winning, Strawberry. Okay. Choose your weapons. You search deep within yourself, trying to remember the sense your parents taught you. It's been a while. You and Azure hadn't trained like this before camp. But this wasn't training this time, was it? Also, by the way, yeah, I mean, Azure and Cyan, that's like a very similar name, you know, so you can get how I got that mixed up, because they're literally just shades of blue. You cycle through your options. No, the knife is too small. A bow would be hard to navigate. Azure chose a close-range weapon. You pick your scythe, giving it a twirl as it magically appeared in a burst of light. You know, why not just simply pick machine gun? Heavy machine gun. Behind you, you heard Azure summon his own weapon. Ready, set. Only one thought passed through your mind as you ready yourself for battle. Man, Strawberry looks so cute today. Giving her a wink, you felt empowered. She waved to you from afar, mouthing a quick "I love you." By the way, when was this a thing? I feel like this just happened out of nowhere, you know? Wait, she had a girlfriend? When did this happen? Was the thing, I guess. This was suddenly, you know? I again, a lot of these like backstories and flashbacks and plot points are just kind of like, I feel like come out of nowhere, you know? I don't know, is it just me? Anyway, go. Turning swiftly, you scowled. Of course, Azure chose a bazooka. What? A bazooka? Rocket launcher, you know? That was just like him. The coward couldn't handle close combat to save his life. That didn't stop you. You ran towards him, yelling as you swung your scythe in rapid succession. You know, a bazooka, I mean, that makes me think of explosions, and that makes me think of Blueberry. Didn't Blueberry have bombs? Are they gonna, you know, Go Tanks, you know, from Dragon Ball Z? Or, anyway. Is that what happened? Anyway, let's just see. The panic in his face was satisfying. Watching him use his clunky weapon as a shield was a cherry on top. Not cherry? You shouldn't mention cherry. He shot towards your legs as he so often did. I can't speak. He shot towards your legs as he so often did. Thankfully, you knew him well enough to predict this. It made you quick on your feet. You evaded him with no problem. You're a coward. Why can't you just stand up to them? Because I don't want to be homeless? They're not going to kick you out. No. Azure reached out, nearly disarming you by spinning your scythe away from you. Thankfully, you were able to do a baton-like twirl, keeping it within your grip. Your brother merely growled at this. They're not going to kick you out. It doesn't matter what you do, just because you can spin a scythe, they let you get away with anything. So you're jealous? Is that what I'm hearing? It's not my fault, I'm just better than you. That's it. Azure leapt backwards, using magic to go several feet back, and knelt down to the rocket jump. One after another, he shot at you in rapid succession. You know, again, I don't really like action scenes, like, you know, typical anime shonen action scenes, like a visual novel, because you don't see anything, you know? It's just kind of described to you instead. You spoke as you ran closer towards him, doing your best to evade each shot. You're just gonna end up just like them at this rate. Just another link in the world's worst chain. Shut up. Or is that what you're scared of, huh? So I haven't gotten your specialty right? You're scared you're gonna be... Oh.
You're gonna be as useless as all the other people you torment. Well, guess what? At least people actually like Strawberry and Raspberry. But with you, nobody cares. You'll end up all alone at this rate.
He paused for a moment, seeing Azure's weapon power up with a blue glow you had never seen before. You also never seen Azure look this angry before either. These are sound effects. The last thing you saw before your vision blacked out was a large blueberry hurling right towards your face. He never aimed for the face before. The impact was the most painful experience you could ever imagine. Your skin stung. Your instinct was to close your instinct was to close your eyes tightly in response to the pain, but for some reason it felt undoable. The more you tried to close them, the more pain you experienced. You reached your hands up to cover your eyes and leave your eyelids. When you did, you realize you don't have eyelids anymore. That was a very powerful blueberry. You know, it's funny. You think like a big blueberry, that'd be kind of silly. It would like splash against your face like a pie, you know, like a clown, you know, eyeing your face. But it turns out it ripped off her skin. They must have melted away in the explosion. That's very acidic blueberry. Your screams became more guttural when you realized your lips met a similar fate. Your ears began ringing as you collapsed to the floor. You half expected to hear Raspberry call the battle, but the only noises you heard was the fuzzy words from your brother. He sounded panicked, but you couldn't make out all what he was saying. Side, I need to get help, or whatever. You know, I never like to read those lines where it's like it's cut off. Like, how am I supposed to read? Well, Cyan, need get help. It just makes me sound like I'm a caveman. So I feel like you should say like you cover your mouth or something or like Cyan, I need to get help. You know, something like that. I mean, that's what it sounds like, right? Stay here, okay? You know, something like that. Oh no, that's what happens. That's what happens with magic, I guess. These kids, they're playing around with magic. You desperately wanted to blink, but you couldn't. Your watery eyes looked over to where Strawberry and Raspberry were. They seemed to have gotten knocked back in the blast, laying unconscious on the floor. You know, the eyes still look like anime eyes to me. You know, I feel like in the show a little more. You should show like the bloody bits over here too. Anyway, it's not gory enough. She seemed to be hurt, thank the beginners. But did she see you fail? You could practically hear your father screaming in your ears. The sound was enough to numb everything else you were feeling physically. You'd never lost a battle, not once. Even when you were just starting out, you were always better than Azure. This was your first failure. Not only that, but it was a drastic failure. One that would get you grounded for sure, as if your hair wouldn't be giving you enough trouble already. You look disgusting, you look hideous, you look a failure, you saw everything. I just wish this never happened, you just wanted to forget all this occurred in the first place. Oh no, but not Azure. He ruined you. Ruined. You never felt more humiliated in your entire life. It was worse than the pain you built to withstand the worst injuries. But getting so injured by a blueberry. Where'd that even come from? You never wanted him to forget this. You wanted him to be sorry. You hope he never forgot this moment. In his dying breath, you wanted to plague his mind. Your seething hatred fueled you enough to stand up, you know, like the end of like the Revenge of the Sith, you know, the Anakin versus Obi-Wan, you know, you're my brother, Anakin. You know, you were my sister, Cyan. You refused to sit there helplessly, limping and clutching your horrifically bleeding face. You needed to find something, anything that could possibly help undo the damage that had been done. You could have sworn you saw tiny multicolored orbs of light come out of Raspberry and Strawberry's heads. Man, you were hallucinating bad because of this, weren't you? You get far because you heard a familiar voice mumbling something urgent, with more footsteps following closely behind. You couldn't let anyone else see you like this. Panicking, you leapt into the nearby bushes, trying to keep your discomforted, painful noises to a minimum. She was right here a few minutes ago. She must have run off. We have to find her.
Hey, kids.
You know, okay, here's Butcher, the freaking meat-faced guy, who is actually evil, as it turns out. You know, which is like you think he wouldn't be, but you know, I guess you have to judge a book by its cover when it's this guy. Whoa, slow down, Tiger. Find who? My sister. She's all alone. We need to find her.
Oh?
One of the other kids give you some kind of potion or something? You don't have a sister in this camp, kid. I think I would have remembered that. Huh? What are you talking about? Stop this nonsense and help me, damn it!
Come on now.
Language. What happened? He looked over, seeing Strawberry slowly get up off the ground.
Raspberry!
Raspberry, are you okay? Your girlfriend ran over, helping your friend off the floor. Yes, I'm quite alright. But I must admit, I can't seem to recall what happened. Guys, have either of you seen Cyan?
Huh?
Who? Literally who? Hey, I know I messed up, I'm really sorry, but this isn't funny. What are you talking about? Last thing I remember, you and I were talking, then Strawberry ran up to us. I don't even remember that.
Oh?
I think I know what's happening.
Huh?
You do?
Some kids must have put a disorienting potion in your breakfast as a prank. I've done a few of those back in my day. It totally warps your perception of reality for a bit.
Reality? What's this voice acting? Why does it sound scary?
Huh?
Huh?
Way to go, Azure. You made too many enemies, and now they're going after Strawberry and I too.
Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I never had a girlfriend. Yuri denied. Yuri denied.
Seems it must be wearing off now.
A man denied his Yuri. I feel like that's a reference to some kind of Metal Gear Solid. You know, isn't that like a thing? Like, a man denied his something? What was it? Like, it's an MGS5 reference, I feel like. But, you know, some person made like a meme that's like a man denied his Yuri or something like that. Anyway. Seems like it must be wearing off now, at least for you two. Do you need any first aid, Azure?
No, I don't think so.
You wonder if the reality warping potion was called LSD? It's simply drugs.
Off you go.
Well, good. I have to prepare lunch, so you two, or you three rather, stay out of trouble, alright? The useless camp counselor walked off, leaving your brother looking more panicked than before. That was until Strawberry walked up next to him and placed a gentle hand on his shoulder.
Sir?
Hey, Azure, it's okay. Strawberry and I got you. I know you must be scared, but the potion wore off soon.
Maybe.
Hey, maybe when this is done, you and I can make some more of those friendship bracelets. Would you like that? But I never made any bracelets with you. That was...
Azure?
You have to remember you're under the influence of a disorientating potion. Your mind might be a bit confused.
Yes!
Yeah, I know it was you, silly. I don't know anyone else with bright blue hair after all. You felt your heart sink into your stomach. They really didn't remember you at all? Yeah, sorry. I guess I just must be disorientated. That little snake. You watch in agony as the three closest people to you walked away, chatting casually as if none of this had happened in the first place, and you were like a randomly inserted character in the story, that like as if you were like a fan fiction spin-off, you know, that never really existed in the original canon of the franchise. You know? Like a random OC. What's that remind me of? I mean, it reminds me of a lot of things, but like it reminds me of, I swear, there's some kind of show that kind of did that, right? I mean, it's like a parody for a lot of The Simpsons, right? The Simpsons. It was The Simpsons and like dog character. Was it like, I don't know, the Simpsons dog character, right? It's like they randomly introduced like a random character, like Poochie or whatever. What's it? Like this guy, like in universe, like an in-universe cartoon show. And there's like a whole episode surrounding it, like Homer was the voice actor or something like that. I don't know. I just remember that. But that's the kind of like the origin, maybe not the origin, but like, you know, one of the earliest examples of what I'm thinking, you know, that trope where like they just introduce a randomly new character as if they were part of the whole group the entire time, but then they cancel the character and that it's gone away, that nobody remembers them. It's like, it makes me think of that. Anyway. But yeah, you couldn't face them, not like this. Especially when Raspberry and Strawberry seemed to completely forget your entire existence. You limped away, sucking up your pride. You didn't want anyone to see you, but at this point you knew you needed an adult of some kind to fix things. Right. And I guess the reason why they forgot her is like, I guess Memorial? Was Memorial here this entire time? Or was he in this camp this entire time and did the memory manipulating thing already? I didn't know he was here. You know, I didn't know he was like part of the thing. Or part of the camp thing. I mean, I guess so, because the prototypes were underground, right? Or was it the same place? I'm not sure. Anyway. The only place you thought to look was the one place you knew had someone guaranteed inside, the kitchen. Blood continued to drip down your face, tears and saliva grossly trailing down your burning muscles as well. You saw an opening in the oven, a ladder. Seeing no other option, you climbed down. Conveniently, it's just open. The closer you got to the ground, the more you could hear muffled voices talking.
Oh! Put those tarps up! I don't want little Zero to have to see all of this!
Yes, m'lady.
Okay, Butcher, the meat guy.
No, did you at least get what I asked you to?
Okay, who's talking? Is it Cherry or... I mean, it sounds like a Cherry to me.
Yes, ma'am. I brought down some of the bracelet rope, just like you asked.
Also, why does the Butcher sound like that? Why does he sound like that? I mean, I don't know, it's intentional, I guess.
Perfect!
Okay, it is Cherry. You climbed down, fully seeing the scene laid out before you. A rather eccentric woman next to the Butcher threw her arms around a giant doll. let's save the game. Because it's already passed like 2 hours. I need to go to the washroom, actually. I need to take a washroom break. So I'm gonna do just that. So I might as well just take a break in general. So I'm gonna go to the washroom, grab a snack, and I'll be right back after a few minutes and continue going through this little visual novel. It kind of goes all over the place, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. I am interested in what's going on. So anyway, BRB. All right. Let's continue. Now that I've, thought about it actually for a bit, I think I know where this is leading towards. Well, my initial speculation of why this Cyan character was like suddenly introduced was like, I thought it was gonna be like a thing where Azure and Cyan somehow fuse, like they fight each other and somehow, freak accident, they somehow like fuse into each other, right? I mean, that's what was alluded to before when the rabbits got fused into each other, right? So I was thinking like, oh, maybe something like that, and that's why we have Blueberry in the present, right? It's like a combination of Azure and like Cyan or something like that, I thought it was gonna be something like that, but no, as it turns out, that's not it. Turns out it was a whole thing where everybody forgot about her, conveniently. And when you think about it, and I don't know, I feel like if you put 2 and 2 together, it's kind of obvious, though. I don't want to ruin the surprise if you haven't figured it out already, but like, just think about it, like the whole thing where they forgot about her and like her face got messed up and now she's in this laboratory thing and then she sees the prototype, which, obviously we learned from buttons like flashback. This is like, I'm assumingly this is Zero and how they were being dressed up by Cherry and everything. So like, in that case, when you also think about it, that's why there's this thing about Strawberry. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's see. So let's see what happens next. But yeah, so after us, Cyan, got freaking blew up by a Blueberry, got Blueberry, blew up berry. Yeah, she walked down this little secret laboratory and then sees this. You climb down, fully seeing the scene laid out before you. A rather eccentric woman next to the butcher threw her arms around a giant doll.
Now we can make friendship bracelets together. Isn't that lovely, Zero?
Again, was Zero mentioned in Cherry's game? I actually don't remember. All I really remember from Cherry's game is that, the whole sequence where Inquiry, the detective, snoops around in her house, and depending on the endings you get, I guess, but obviously the canonical route is that she finds the young Strawberry and everything, and then saves her, right? And then captures Cherry, and then she goes to jail or whatever. And then also learn her connection to the Everlasting Cult. I don't remember if there was like a reference to some kind of doll thing, maybe there was. Seems familiar, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
Friendship bracelets.
Friendship bracelets.
Please, can I just take a bite? Just one of your fingers. That's all I need, Miss Cherry Pie.
Huh? What do you mean? That was Strawberry's sister? The infamous cannibal who was part of the Everlasting Cult. Wait, wasn't she supposed to be captured in that case? Yeah, at this point she was supposed to be captured, I think, right? I guess, did she escape? I don't remember now. Maybe she did escape. I don't know. Because I thought, like Strawberry was saved and everything. And yeah, this is after, right? She was adopted by Inquiry. So like, turns out Cherry is just hanging out here. I don't know. That was Strawberry's sister, the infamous cannibal who was part of the Everlasting Cult? What was she doing underneath your summer camp, coincidentally?
Oh, hush now. We'll be having none of that. You'll get your daily slice of pie, but that's it.
Oh, she's Southern? I didn't was that alluded to before? I don't remember. Also, she definitely has I don't know, what's the word? An interesting costume. Oh, belts. Makes me think of Final Fantasy. You took a step backwards, accidentally hitting the ladder you just climbed down with a loud clang. The three beings looked over at you instantaneously, and you got a sudden suspicion that you weren't really supposed to be here.
Oh?
Butcher, can you take Zero back to Lemon and tell her to look after them, please? Seems you have a visitor who's in pretty poor shape. Lemon? Who's Lemon? Yes, Miss Cherry Pie. Anything for you. Your camp counselor took the doll away, although the doll wouldn't stop staring at you as they left.
Hi there.
Hey now, Sugar Pie. I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't obvious. I didn't pick up on that in the original, like, Cherry Pie game, but I don't know. She just talks like that, I guess. Yeah, hey now, Sugar Pie. We ain't gonna hurt you. What happened? I'm afraid I didn't understand a word of that, Pumpkin. Silly me. Here, you should feel a bit better if you eat this. Magic might make you able to talk without lips. I'll help you. Cherry reached into her pocket, pulling out a large glowing orb. She hummed the tune casually as she walked towards you, prying your mouth open and forcing you to take a bite down on it. It tasted oddly sugary, something you weren't expecting. You wanted to be disgusted. You wanted to push her off of you, especially for what she put strawberry through, but you were too weak. Then suddenly, the second you swallowed, you felt no longer in pain. In fact, a wave of euphoria rushed over you. It was enough to send shivers down your spine. Send shivers down your spine. You know, the spooky, scary skeletons. Send shivers down your spine. There we go. Now then, do you want to tell me what happened to you? I was shot in the face by my brother. Now nobody remembers me. Even my own girlfriend. I got NTR'd, I guess, sort of. Well, not really, but like, you know, NTR'd by amnesia. Oh dear. That must be a pretty nasty curse you got there, huh?
Huh?
Curse.
Well,
Well,
sure. I can practically smell it from here. Oh, shoot.
Geez, have the schools really not been teaching y'all about curses?
You see?
Curses are magical ailments that can't easily be gotten rid of or healed. They're usually the result of a misfired spell, but they're always fueled by incredibly strong emotions like hate, fear, or love.
Poor thing.
Not all curses are bad, but it looks like you got yourself a nasty one. Did my curse make them forget me? Well, it's hard to say, Sugar. The woman before you knelt down slightly, dusting off your shoulders. She looked at you with a plethora of concern in her eyes. You weren't gonna lie. You didn't expect someone so horrible to be so sweet to you. Well, I don't know. You look at a freaking like weird eyeball. You know, these look like eyeballs to me, like eyeball apron thing, or I don't know, it's an apron. What do you call this? Drape thing? I don't know. It looks scary. Is all I'm saying. It's like she's straight out like this freaking like a villain, you know. I can sense a great deal of magic inside of you. Say, this might be a weird question. Did you happen to get your specialty recently? The last time I felt something this strong was, well, when my sister got hers, not too long ago. Cherry's smile quickly turned bittersweet as she said that, but she still gave you her undivided attention. How would I know? It's funny, but you just kinda know. Something happens and snap, it clicks with you.
You see?
Sometimes they can form after traumatic events, you know. An unfortunate way to get your specialty, that's for sure. You might want to prepare yourself for drastic physical changes on top of this. It's pretty common in these circumstances. You don't say. You start growing a... Anyway,
Huh?
You're starting to freak me out, lady.
Now wait one moment.
Wait, where do you think you're going? I know you. I know what you did. Why are you here?
I think I might be able to help you. I can't fix things, but I can make them a little less hard to deal with. So, will you come with me? Or go back out there, faceless, with no one who remembers you?
I mean, I was thinking, like, it seems like the curse only affected people around her. And I guess it was a result of, like, Azure doing it, right? Is it Azure's curse, technically? I don't know, but... Or is it, like, a curse that kind of manifested because of her as well? I'm not sure. Well, I don't know, the whole memory thing. I wonder if it was because during that moment where she was doing that... I'm gonna... A rant? It's not really a rant, you know. She was crashing out, I guess. You know, when she was like crashing out about her like being humiliated and all that. Like, I wonder that that's when the curse took place, and it's because of her. You know, like the origin was herself rather than like from Azure. But anyway, it would make sense, because what I'm thinking of, you know, which I feel like is obvious at this point, I think that's why. But anyway, I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, the fact that the curse only affects the people around her. Would it not also, like, not, or rather, it, like her parents, basically, you know? Like, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, can't she just go back to her parents? Like, this is like this is a false, what's the word? Ultimatum? Is that the right word? Yeah, it's a false ultimatum, right? It's like, go back there, face it. No one who remembers. Well, technically, her parents would probably remember. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, we come with me or go back out there, faces of no one who remembers you. You weren't sure exactly why you went with her, but from then on, you weren't yourself anymore. Sign was nothing but a forgotten memory, a dead name. You were someone else entirely, you could feel it. Right. Okay, and that's the origin of Memorial. Turns out Memorial... I mean, we're referring to him as a guy now, right? Is that how it is? Like, okay, so that's why I got so confused, right? So, Azure is a her now, or, you know, Azure became Blueberry and is a her, and then Cyan became Memorial is a he now, right? It's like, is this like a thing? Do their bloodline just do that? Do they just do that? Anyway, as the voices of the past started to fade, you became acutely aware of your present situation. You had already gotten so used to the familiarity of a comfortably warm body and the memory, a beating heart, even the sensation of breathing. Now you were feeling so distant, detached from yourself, stuck in a cold porcelain shell. You'd never felt so many overwhelming feelings before. You had witnessed a childhood that wasn't yours. Friends, loved ones, enemies. You really felt so strongly about, yet they were not yours. Was anything yours anymore? What exactly were you? After a few moments, it occurred to you that the mask you had touched moments ago was now fitted into your face, and you couldn't recall a thing about yourself or what you were doing there in the first place. You just felt wrong. You looked up at Memorial, noticing his new mask as well. He seemed different than he was before, but you couldn't quite figure out how. In his hands, he held a garbage bin, with the lid secured firmly on top. Okay, so, I mean, I guess it makes sense. So that whole thing was a flashback within a flashback because of the masks. The masks transferred Memorial's memories to Buttons, and that's why Buttons saw all that. But that wasn't Buttons' memories, really. That was Memorial's memories. And that's why we saw it from Memorial's perspective, or Science perspective. A little convoluted a little bit, I don't know, but yeah, that's basically it. That's the origin of Memorial. That's why he can't kill Strawberry. And at this point, he's probably forgotten why he can't kill Strawberry, because he gave that memory to Buttons, technically. It's because of the freaking pinky swear, the magical pinky swear that made it so that he can't just murder her, you know? If he can't help it anyway. Technically, that was the, you know, the contract. But yeah, he held a garbage bin apparently. Buns, you're awake. I guess I must have had more memories than I thought. Was as stiff as an elephant, yes I was. Did we do it right? I feel different. Oh, I know what you mean. I feel different too. I've never felt more disgust in my entire life. Eh? Was what happened to you really that bad? You suppose you didn't want to know? Witches are horrible, selfish people. All of them. It wouldn't have happened had they thought of someone other than themselves for once in their lives. Why make something just to discard it without a second thought? Why go through any of this? What's the meaning of it all? Is there any meaning? Are our specialties, do they actually matter? Does our fleeting existence matter if there's nothing waiting at the end? You're gonna start getting all existential with me. Sir, I don't understand. Sorry, just talking to myself. I gotta stop doing that.
Well, if you can't beat them, join them, right?
I might need your help with one more thing, Buns, but don't worry, I'll keep you safe, okay? Those disgusting pigs don't deserve you anyways. They should die and rot. They should. All of them. Every last one of them. Wow, we sure did fail as a society. Maybe it's time we go back to square one. Classic, we killed everyone. We killed everyone evil plan. When the echoes of the past ceased, Blueberry gasped, quickly jumping backwards off of Buns. Freaking massive note. It's been like cracked like that this whole time, I guess. Never bothered to like put some glue or anything. Never bothered to like fix it a little bit. She started breathing heavily. You'd never seen her look so scared before. Buns struggled to get up off the ground, turning on their heel to make their escape. Oh no, you don't. You saw Raspberry stomp her foot down. Without warning, vines shot out from beneath the floor. They trailed from her heel to Buns like a heat-seeking missile. Suddenly she can do that, by the way. I feel like she would have been able to do that before, but now she can. Restraining Buns was proving to be a very easy task to accomplish. You got what you wanted. Just please, let me go, The sounds of clattering could be heard as Buns started to visibly shake.
Please don't do that.
I didn't want to remember that. I wasn't supposed to remember. I wasn't supposed to. Blueberry continued to hyperventilate. Without a second thought, you rushed to her side, giving her a concerned look as you grab a hold of her hand. Hey, Blueberry, it's okay. You felt Blueberry rip her hand out of yours as she began to back herself against the wall. It was an accident. I didn't mean to. But you all just... forgot her. I didn't know what to do. I was a kid. I wanted to believe what you were telling me. The memory was a lot even for me, but it doesn't change the fact that you're still my friend. We can work through this. I know we can. But I did something horrible. Can't live myself like this. Gotta live a life without hurting another person. You were taken aback by Raspberry's words as she approached you two, placing a hand on Blueberry's shoulder.
Huh?
I don't understand. Believe me, being a politician, I've heard countless people. It doesn't feel good, not in the slightest. You wish that you could help everyone, or at the very least you wish not to cause any harm. But that's just not realistic, unfortunately. This sounds bad. It is bad. To live means that you'll hurt someone someday, and there's nothing you can do about it. But what really matters is striving to do your best every day.
As long as you can own up to your mistakes and strive to move forward, that's really all you can do.
That's the difference between a good person and a bad person. Mario was making this everyone else's problem, but you chose to better yourself after it. Did you? Well, frankly, we both love you, mistakes and all. After Sign left, I couldn't get out of my mind. To think, this is what she became. You all started confusing me for her. Your brains must have tried filling in the gaps of her absence, huh? I should have trusted my gut, but I thought, Cyan, she really was everything I had ever wanted to be. She was funny, confident, she did whatever she wanted and asked questions later.
Everyone liked her. She didn't even need to try. They just loved her. The way she was. Do you have any idea how badly I wanted that?
You know, judging by your thong, yeah? Or is that, I guess, is that called a thong? I'm not sure, anyway. So you adopted her persona as her own. Does this mean that the you we know isn't you? You were just trying to be like Cyan? No. Yes? The second I got home after that trip, I told my parents how I got my specialty. It went how you would expect it to. But Strawberry, when you and your mom decided to take me in for a little bit before I joined the circus, I started to get more comfortable branching out, exploring myself and my identity. Wait, the circus? You know, wait, there's a whole circus thing? Wait, what was the thing about the circus? There's like a circus arc? You and your mom. I guess mom as an inquiry? Before I joined the circus. I guess Azure literally got kicked out. You know, it's funny, they were arguing about whether or not they would get kicked out, right? Azure and Cyan. Turns out he got kicked out, I guess. Anyway, and then joined the circus. Even if all my actions were based on what I thought she would do, they're still my actions, it's still me. Even though you're a faker, you know, faker like Shiro Emiya?
And
Emiya Shiro?
I'm happy this way. Happier than I was pushing everything down like Azur did.
Well, I know we can't change the past, and it really isn't my place to forgive you or not based on what happened, but I'm at least happy you don't have to shoulder all those emotions alone anymore. And if this is how you want to be or act or present or whatever, it's still you.
It's like Raspberry said. We love you no matter what. Your soul is good. It really, truly is.
Despite the fact that you've, you know, conveniently, like, erased your sister from everyone's lives with your big blueberry bazooka. Which I'm still not sure if it... I mean, I don't think it was completely Blueberry's fault that everyone forgot about Cyan, because obviously Memorial's power is memory manipulation, so probably it was like the the actual magic was from Cyan initially. That's why everyone forgot about her. It's more so the bazooka, the big blueberry bazooka, by the way. It's a funny thing to think about. It was the catalyst for it, you know?
Nothing you could change about yourself would ever make me think otherwise.
Blueberry stared at you both, Blueberry stared at both of you for a few moments, her eyes wide. Why are you comforting me? She was your girlfriend. I'd be furious at me if I were you. Well, the memories of her. I can't say that they've returned, or that I know that much about her. I have a lot of complicated feelings right now, and that's gonna take some time to process. But I'm still treading water, because I have to right now. If I have the capabilities to help someone who's about to drown, I'll always help. If you can be strong, then I will too. Let's talk about this more when we get out of here, okay? Yeah, I like that. I would also like to join this hypothetical discussion later, but right now we have a captive prototype and no clear plan. That was so beautiful. I want to hate you all so badly, but I just can't. Buns look rather emotional looking up at you three from their spot on the floor.
Excuse me.
Get up. Raspberry waved her arms, making the vines move and contort, lifting Buns up so that they were dangling in the air.
Okay.
Spoken as if they had any say in the matter to begin with. Raspberry pulled you aside, giving Blueberry a nod. Blueberry nodded back, using that as a signal to terrorize poor Buns as Raspberry spoke to you. Strawberry, I hate to ask this of you, but it's the only solution I could think of. Whatever it is, I'll do it. I want to help. Your taller friend smiled at you sympathetically, placing her hands on both of your shoulders.
You see?
Memorial can't kill you, which means you're his only true weakness. But I feel it is safe to say that we now have a hold of his emotional weakness. Raspberry gestured vaguely in the direction of Buttons, who was currently being shaken around the vines by Blueberry herself. You lift a finger, opening your mouth to object to the sight you just witnessed, when Raspberry continued to speak. I have a plan, but it might require you to commit acts of violence. You must become violent. How violent? If Memorial cannot physically harm you, and has to physically protect you from harm at all times, you might be the only one who can get close enough to attack him, and put a stop to all of this madness. Oh gee, Raspberry, I don't know if I could even... I thought so. It's alright, Strawberry. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. I'll find another solution, alright? Just be careful. You too, okay? Raspberry nodded, a sad smile on her face. She turned to Blueberry and Buns, who were... Oh, they actually seem to be talking normally now. And was Blueberry smiling?
Alright.
Now that we have the whole skeleton, Memorial shouldn't be too far away. He won't be around here. A click could be heard, Memorial's voice emitting from Buttons' back pocket. Buns! I felt the connection between our masks sever. The memories, are you alright? I'm coming back down there, just hang on. Raspberry reached into Buns' back pocket, pulling out the communicator and hung down the button on the side of it.
No more games, Memorial. We have Buttons, and we know everything. I'd play your next moves very carefully if I were you.
She said, slamming down the communicator and stomping it into pieces with her boot.
Nice one, Razzmatazz!
Please don't hurt him. Hurt me if you must. Just please leave him be.
Raspberry snapped her fingers, causing the vines to move and grow rapidly around the facility. I've had enough of this room. We've been here too long. Let us move forward, shall we? The vines were seeping into the cracks of anything mechanical, breaking almost all of the machinery in the process. You follow Raspberry, Blueberry, and the still dangling buttons through a long, empty hallway. The lights flickered overhead as you entered the next room, yet this time you could sense a glimmer of hope in the air. Could that really be a way back to the surface, you wondered? Without warning, the entire room began to shake. Bits of debris from the ceiling fell down to your feet. You conniving, carnivorous cacophony of caterpillars! Memorial emerged from the ground. You watched him come into form, rising like a puddle of goo trying to make itself into something more solid. You could hear his bones crack as he locked them into place. You instinctively took a step in front of your friends, hoping to shield them should Memorial choose to attack instantaneously. You know, for some reason, the writer keeps saying instantaneously, like 3 times at this point. I don't know, it's just something I noticed. When I think of instantaneous, I just think of, I don't know, instantaneous transmission, you know, like from Dragon Ball Z. Goku can just teleport anywhere. Is it instantaneous transmission or is it instant transmission? I think it's just instant transmission. Oh, instant and instantaneous. Just for some reason, it's the same word in my head. Memorial noticed Buns first, dangling high up in the air.
No.
Buns!
Sir?
Please get out of here. When his gaze met you, he paused. He stared at you for a few moments as if this was the first time he was truly seeing you. You two had history, right? Not that you remembered much of it. This was really weird. His gaze shifted to Raspberry, causing him to scowl, before it finally landed on a Blueberry. Oh, this is just rich. You see him slowly walk to the left of you all, eyeing you up and down, visibly shaking with rage all the while.
After so much suffering, I finally had it out of my memory. I never wanted to remember that day. You know, the day you took everything from me? Yeah, remember that?
Remember me? I always, for some reason, when someone says remember, I just think of remember me. You know, like I don't know, I just, what is this, like YouTube, remember me, Metroid, what is it? Oh man, I'm a robot. Because I have a VPN. That's not my real IP, I don't think. Hopefully it's not, because I have a VPN. Anyway, it's this. Like, remember me? Remember me? Remember? I don't know. Anyway, remember? I don't know. It was like a meme for a bit. I don't know why. It was 16 years ago. It was a guy that says from the freaking Metroid Other M game. He says, "Remember me?" And it's like, who? Who? What do you mean, remember me? Who are you? You know, it's like nobody knew. What do you mean, remember? Remember who? Anyway. But yeah, remember that?
You took my looks, my personality, my friends, my whole life!
Also, the sound again is like off. The sound mixing is off. You need to compress the audio. My guy. You know, voice sounds like 100%. It's like kind of, for some reason, kind of low. Again, I think it's because, like, you know, he says, he quietly says, you told my looks, my personality, my friends, and my whole life, you know, like, it's because the peaks don't match the lowest volume of the, you know, the other line. So you gotta compress it. You gotta compress it a little bit, you know. Anyway. When Memorial got directly to the left of your group, he summoned his scythe. Ah, classic, you know, just like back in the day. Blueberry acted before he could, however, throwing one of her signature bombs in his direction. Memorial batted it away before he could go off, staggering backwards. Ah. You two get out of here. I'll deal with his whiny ass. Not alone, you won't. Raspberry clicked her heels to the ground, summoning a bunch of vines in attempts to tangle up Memorial before he could respond. Oh, I see how it is. Trying to pull one of my stunts, are we, Blueberry? As the smoke cleared the room, he noticed the faintest cracks begin to form along Memorial's mask. He stood there, intertwined within the vines, before breaking loose from them all at once, an incredible display of strength for someone who didn't look the part. Memorial cracked his neck, rolled his shoulder blade, and readied his scythe. He darted forward, going for the attack. You know, I feel like, I mean, obviously this is just anime, but like, I feel like for scythes are like, not that convenient as a melee weapon, I feel like, you know, a little bit too top heavy. Like, it's a cool weapon and everything, but like, it's not really meant for like melee, I feel like. It depends on the scythe, I guess. But it's more like an improvised tool, you know? So, because I think it's meant to like weeds or something? I don't know, something. It's like a farming tool, I think. Anyway. Blueberry rolled out of dodge. Blueberry rolled out of dodge. Oh, I guess like as a saying, you know, like you ran out of dodge, or I don't know. Anyway, Blueberry did a Dark Souls roll, and using one of Raspberry's destroyed vines, pulled hard to trip the maniac. Memorial got up quickly, groaning out frustration as they threw the scythe at Blueberry. Raspberry clapped her hands together and blocked the scythe with a wall of vines and berries that grew in front of Blueberry. Memorial stomped the ground, causing the room to shake and make Raspberry lose her footing.
Wow, Raspberry! How true to justice you are! Even after hearing how your friend has lied to and deceived you your whole life, you still defend her. How sweet. That makes me sick.
It makes me sick. Also, there was like a whole thing where like they didn't want to fight Memorial because Memorial's too strong or whatever, but now they're just doing it? Like, what do you mean? What was the difference between now and then, you know?
I'm sorry. What? Dude, leave her out of this. This is between you and me. Sure, I messed you up bad with the accident, and I'm so sorry for that. But that doesn't give you the right to play the victim after everything you've done since then.
I feel like it's just so quiet. Is it maybe I need to adjust it still or something? Like readjust it?
I'm sorry. What?
What?
Leave her out of
Dude?
this.
No, it sounds the same. I don't know. It's just as quiet.
Sure, I messed you up.
Play the victim. My life was amazing before you ruined it, Azure.
I will never forgive you for what you did to me!
Look, Memorial, I'm sorry for what happened on that day, and you have every right to hate me. I hated myself for it for a long time, but I did try to help. I really did.
But it's fine because I felt bad about it or something. I don't know. Did you try to help? When? I don't know. Did you not tell the parents about your missing sister at any point? I don't know.
Well, you failed!
I know. But we aren't the same as we were on that day. At least I didn't go trying to murder everyone because of it. I'm not gonna let myself go down that path of misery anymore. Whether I'm forgiven or not, today I get to live. And nobody tells me otherwise.
This is like such schlocky. like I like anime schlock. I don't know how we describe it. It's just shown in anime. It's like, I'm gonna give my speech and I'm gonna live. I'm gonna beat you. A Blueberry tossed a bomb towards Memorial, who effortlessly swatted it away from him. It hit a pillar of sorts, causing the room to rumble and shake. He looked up, noticing the cracks forming as part of this thing came hurling towards you at top speed. Memorial had a flash of recognition in his eyes. He ran over and grabbed you by the waist, jumping out of dodge. Again, out of dodge again? I keep using that. Jumping out of dodge is barely in time before anything could crush you. He set you down to the side as gently as he could while he was seething with rage. You stay out of this! During the carnage of the fight, you noticed buttons wiggle and slip from Raspberry's vines. They made eye contact with the two of you and panicked, starting to run away into another room. Buttons, go, run, I'll find you. As he was distracted by that, however, he failed to notice one of Raspberry's vines charging at him. Also, can't you just like snap a finger and just make everyone forget what's going on in the first place? I guess the mask shattered, but like, that wouldn't affect his powers, right? I don't know, anyway. It wrapped itself around Memorial's head, squeezing until a shadow could be heard. He stroked at it first, but he ripped the vines off with ease, leaving behind a face with no mask. Blue tongue. And the hair is still dyed? I guess it's because it was mentioned, right? In the flashback, they used permanent dye, I think. So that's why the hair is still pink, you know, this whole time. It's like it explains everything, I guess. Yeah. Is this what you wanted to see? Gaze upon the consequences of your actions. The negligence and anger that never left me. It's your fault I'm cursed. Reap what you have sown. You followed buttons in order to stop them from escaping. They were the only other levers you had, and you really weren't good at fighting. Okay. You chase buttons down a long hallway. I mean, again, I guess that Memorial is like less of a threat because they had buttons as a hostage or something. I don't know. It's like anime logic. I feel like couldn't they have done this from the very beginning, but somehow he's too powerful? But like, why? Why was he too powerful? It's the same thing. It's the same guy. Nothing's changed, really, like physically anyway. Anyway, just buttons down a long hallway. Buttons, stop. Sorry, I'm so sorry, they said, turning on their heel and pulling out a pair of scissors. You scream, ducking as they try to stab you in the throat. I don't want to hurt you. Buttons continued to make swings at you. Thankfully for you, they were a bit slow and not the best at aiming. You grab a hold of their arm as their scissors almost collided with your neck. Without thinking, you grabbed their other wrist, slamming them against the wall with all your strength. You heard something crack. You grabbed the back of her hair, slamming their head into the wall again. This time, you heard something break. Seeming to snap out of whatever that was, you gasped, letting go of them and taking a few steps back. No, you should have kept going. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just, had a sudden urge to commit violence. It's alright. I don't blame you. You saw them fall onto the floor, dropping the scissors beside them. You kicked the scissors away out of fear, clearly still running on some sort of fight or flight response. You turned your head as you heard the sounds of footsteps running towards you. What were you even supposed to do in a situation like this? Save the game. I don't know. I feel like either of these options would lead to something, I don't know. Obviously, Strawberry's whole morality thing is to help people, so she'll help them anyway, even though she's in danger or whatever. Or she can just hide, but that will betray her morals. But technically, that would be the smart thing to do. So it really depends on what the writer is expecting, out of the player here. I'm gonna say hide, because it is specifically against what Strawberry would do, so I wonder if that would actually lead to a bad ending, because that's what I want actually, but, well, I guess we'll see. You look down, absolutely shocked by what you just did. You're also out of control, like a part of you finally snapped and chose to prioritize survival. You scurried to find a hiding spot, quickly tucking yourself behind a corner as you heard a familiar voice. What is going on?
Sir,
Buttons!
I'm sorry, sir.
No, shush. It's okay. Come here. I've got you.
I can't move. You're going to be okay, Buttons. Can't lose everything again. Sir, you're all I have left. You hesitated, never having seen Memorial so gentle or emotional. Or scared. You felt like you were intruding on something you weren't supposed to be seeing. Strawberry, where is she? She still has the bones. She could...
Wait. Please, don't go. I don't want to be alone right now.
You saw Buns weakly gripping onto Memorial's sleeve.
Are you safe to carry? Or will you break?
You saw Buns shake their heads solemnly.
Okay, I'll stay right here with you.
Thank you.
You saw them speak to each other in hushed whispers. What was taking Raspberry and Blueberry so long? Wait. You paused your train of thought. A large garbage bin tucked away next to you. You swore you'd seen this garbage bin before. It was the same one Memorial held in Buns' memory, with one of the fragmented prototypes and... a pipe, a weapon. You quietly lifted the lid off the bin, trying hard not to bring attention to yourself. You thanked the beginners that neither of them would be able to see you from this angle. Mario's back was faced to you. You tiptoed over, pipe firmly in both your hands. You paused, seeing Buns' hand reach up and hold Memorial's cheek. What would Mama do, you wondered? Kill. Destroy. They don't deserve love. They deserve death. You swung the pipe back, then swung again directly against the back of Memorial's head. He fell over and topped Buns, making a startled noise. Hit them again. This is what Mama would want. You sat on top of both of them, beginning to beat Memorial over the head, over and over and over again. He attempted to get up, to shove you off of him, but he couldn't. Mama would do what was right, even if it was painful. Again. Doing what's right meant involving yourself in what you hated most, violence, and letting your friends get hurt. You thought back to the promise you had made. Was he not fighting back because he couldn't? If he could, would he? Again and again, Mama said knock you out. Why'd you have to do this? This didn't need to happen. The only response to your desperate pleas was a weak, twisted sort of laugh. Hit him again. Die. He only stopped after he stopped moving. Slowly getting off of both of them, he stared down at the mess you had made. Again, it's like it's like doomed Yaoi, but it's not Yaoi because Buns is technically like, well, I don't know. It's like Buns is non-binary, and technically, I guess Morio's a trans man. Well, I mean, it still counts if they're both men, but like, yeah, anyway, at some point, the two of them had intertwined hands. Buns' form had seen better days, and they unfortunately took some damage as well. You know, just missed, some hits and accidentally hit Buns in the face again. Memorial's brain could be partially seen, causing you to almost throw up there and then.
Strawberry!
If you eat those brains, you can gain power. Anyway, isn't that what it is? Like the cannibal cult? If you just slurp up those brains, you could get some cool memory powers. Just do that real quick. You had a bit of a delayed response as Blueberry ran up and hugged you. Raspberry followed shortly after, looking relieved to see the scene before you.
You did it. You really did it.
You really did it. You bashed his brains out. Congratulations.
That was really traumatic for you.
Shit, let's get you out of here.
Yeah, but it's fine for us though. The Blueberry and Raspberry, they're like, whatever. You see this all the time. Raspberry nodded, muttering to herself. I'll take care of the mess down here. Blueberry gently took the pipe from your bloody hands. You stare at them quietly. You never wanted to hurt anyone. You spent 50 years trying to prevent death, and now here you were, the cause of it. Guilt started to engulf you as Blueberry guided you out of the room. You made it back up to the surface, but you don't quite remember how you got there. Blueberry found the straw bunnies, or at least what they had become. You petted them gently. Doing so started to calm you down, in a bit of a weird way. When Raspberry came back up, she looked exhausted. You understood that look better than anyone. Some words were exchanged, but you couldn't grasp the meaning of the words no matter how hard you tried. After all the fighting, all the new revelations, you finally understood everything that had ever happened to you, but it didn't make you feel any better. Fixing the problem didn't fix you like you hoped it would. You weren't even sure if what you did was right. At some point, Raspberry opened another portal. Your two friends held your hands on both sides of you, Blueberry holding onto a leash attached to the rabbit amalgamation. the rabbit is still like that. You walked through. You were finally back in Nicosa. After countless years, it looked like the suffering was reaching an end. Even though you could see people celebrating as the news of your victory spread, you were left scarred beyond relief. Or belief. And still got some blood on you. You don't understand why everyone loved you so much. Perhaps you didn't need to understand. Perhaps it would take a long time until you could understand. But being hugged felt nice. Surrounded by your loved ones, you finally found home again for the first time in a long time. If someone could hug you with all the blood in your hands, someone could still love you despite everything you've gone through, it gave you the feeling that things were going to be okay. Things were going to be okay for all of you. Good end. Oh, it's a good ending. The moral of the story: if someone is an asshole, just beat their brains out with a pipe. It's fine. Moral of the story, just do that. Simply commit to violence. And then you have a good ending, I guess. Window skin by Xenoslots. I recognize the developer. Also Arcade. But there you go. I feel like there should be another ending that I should get, so I'll do that. But yeah. That's the game. Well, let me get the other ending and then I'll give my thoughts, I guess. How long has it been, by the way? 3 hours. Okay, well. Let's go back real quick. Okay. I think it was over here. Okay. So, alright. Let's do the stupid thing and just stick, just hang around and try to help Buns. It's probably a horrible idea. Regret filled your very being. You couldn't believe you just did that. For half a century you did everything you could to prevent death, yet here you were causing it. You began to panic, hovering over their breaking form. Did you know any repairing magic? You think you remembered some, although you didn't use it often. Would that work on a living being? You muttered some silent enchantments, holding Buns close as their body began to glow.
Miss Strawberry.
What are you... The glowing stopped. Shoot! You started chanting once more, the glowing flickering, yet not fully igniting like before. What is going on? You looked up, your eyes meeting Memorial's. He rushed over to your side, grabbing Buns and putting them in his lap. You've never seen him hold something with so much genuine, gentle care before. The bones. Do you still have the bones? Yeah, but... Give them to me.
I don't know.
Memorial, I don't know if that will... Do you want them? Do you want to save them or not? Yes, I do. You hurriedly grabbed the bag you had been carrying around, beginning to take out the bones. Yeah, we never got like any closure on that, I feel like. Lay the skeleton down here. Memorial set Buns down. He brushed some hair out of their face, and in that moment you noticed his hands were shaking. He was scared.
No.
Just hold on, okay, Buns? Stay awake. Stay with me. I've got you.
Sir?
How many times do I have to tell you? You can just call me Memorial, alright? It's going to be okay. He spoke so gently, it was honestly throwing you off quite a bit.
I'm sorry, Memorial. I couldn't do it. Your plan...
My plan is meaningless without you.
Memorial placed the bones in a circle, gently grabbing your shoulder and pulling you a few steps back. Fuck. We'll have to complete the ritual with only 2 people. Strawberry, just... I'll lead. You just hold my hand and focus hard on bringing them back, and only bringing them back. Memorial reached his hand out to you. You hesitated. After all, this whole situation felt incredibly odd. Please. Promise, I'm not going to hurt you, alright? Once again, he sounded so much softer than before. You took a hold of his hand. The moment you did so, Memorial started chanting. The bones you laid out, their bones, started glowing a faint green color. Could it be? Could they be in there too? Memorial's words from earlier echoed in your mind. Do you want to save them or not? You squeezed onto Memorial's hand, trying hard to focus as he instructed. Suddenly you gasp, hearing running footsteps and familiar yelling coming your way.
Don't look at them! Keep your eyes on the circle!
What? What are you doing?
Wait! Strawberry! Don't!
Buns began to glow, the bones hovering all around them. You watch as the bones seemed to phase through them, locking in place like a perfectly put together puzzle. You watch as Buns began to float into the air. The entire building began to shake again. You were starting to feel uneasy. Blueberry rushed towards you, but just before she could reach, a large blast of energy emitted from Buns. Blueberry and Raspberry were knocked backwards almost instantly. Memorial stopped chanting, letting go of your hand and picking up the new figure that lay before you.
Let's go.
What?
Memorial threw the figure over his shoulder and held in one arm, using the other to grab onto your hand and bring you to the nearest wall.
Wait! I can't!
You're coming with us. This isn't a request.
You struggled, trying to pull yourself out of his grip, but he was too strong.
Strawberry! Wait! Don't!
Memorial let go of your hand, struggling to get a silver skeleton key engraved with the logo of the Council of Witches out of his pocket. Well, that's the thumbnail, by the way, you know, the game page. I haven't seen the CG in a while, you know, this is like the actual little ending of the game, you know, do you actually get the CG? He inserted it into the air and magically created a rectangular portal, one filled with pink-colored magic. Then he grabbed a hold of you once more.
You. Leave her alone.
Blueberry struggled to get up, clutching her stomach in pain.
Blueberry, raspberry. You both are of no threat to me. In fact, I'm so confident in that fact that I've decided to keep you two alive. For one reason only.
You know, the evil villain speech sounds weird when you say in fact and then you say a fact again. I don't know, it's a little repetitive, you know. I don't know. Like, in fact, I'm so confident in the fact. You know, it feels weird. It feels weird to say that. Anyway.
I will kill every last witch out there. And when I'm done, I will be coming back for you. I'll kill you then and there, and that little push will be the final piece to make me whole. Until we meet again.
Without another word, he pulled you into the portal. Ending 5. It's kind of a cliffhanger, I feel like. Because, I don't know. It's like not a bad ending, but it's not a good ending. It's just an ending. It's like, I don't know what that means, you know? Because all the other endings are like bad ending, bad ending, bad ending, and bad ending. And there's the good ending, but that's just an ending. So what does that mean? Is that... Because obviously it's just a cliffhanger. It's like a freaking sequel bait, you know? That's all that was, I feel like. Well, anyway... I mean, let me double check the game page real quick. Berrywitched, the Harvest. Over here. And just checking if I got all the endings. Because there are 6 endings in particular. I believe there's a walkthrough too, so just want to make sure I got everything. Yeah, there's the Blueberry Cobbler, the body horror one. Strawberry Sorbet is when I think she froze to death. There's Raspberry Pancake when she was what's it called? Hydraulic press channeled. She got hydraulic press channeled. And then Strawberry Puree, so you say puree, is when she got stabbed by buttons, whatever. And then there's ending 5. It just says ending 5, and then the good ending. So I guess that's it. All right. I mean, this person seemed to like it. It's like, I'm already feeling the perfectness of this masterpiece and haven't even downloaded it. Well, you didn't even play it yet. You can't have an opinion on something if you haven't played it yet. Come on. Anyway, but yeah, people seem to like it. 5 stars. You know, obviously I'm gonna be the contrarian here and be like, well, okay, let me focus on the you know, when you criticize something and be constructive, you have to focus on the positives first. So the positive is that, I mean, the art style I think looks fine. I think it's like, you know, obviously it's like an evolution of the developer's like art style. I like the original one better though, but that's just me though. That's just subjective, I guess. But I think it's fine. I think it's fine overall though. Art style is fine. The how do you say? There's like the little puzzles. I like some of the bad endings. I like how some of the bad endings are like kind of like, oh, you know, you press a button and then something bad happens. So I like that part. Some of the characters definitely are appealing. I mean, I like Memorial for the most part as a villain, right? It's like definitely a fun villain because he's like meant to be like a crazy trickster Joker guy. What else? I don't know. I'm not trying to be like there's nothing good to say. It's more so like I'm trying to like summarize, you know. But I mean, there's a little bit of like, I mean, okay, well, the lore, right? The lore. So I didn't mind some of the lore development, right? And understanding what the Council of Witches was, and like whole everlasting thing. I felt like we didn't delve too much into it, but like, you know, there was some references here and there, so that part was interesting. And of course the reference to Cherry, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like what movies do, you know, where they're like, oh, by the way, this character that existed in this other game, this other movie, turns out they're still here in this movie. Here's a cameo, right? Like they keep showing you the cameos, you know. I feel like the game just had a Cherry cameo, and that's kind of it, you know. She was just kind of there. What else? Obviously the whole everlasting. Some of the characters are kind of off screen though, you know. Like, was it Gears or something, or Lemon? Was it something like that? There's some of the other like bad guys, right? We don't really see. They're just kind of off screen, really. Obviously the Inquiry cameo too. She's kind of there. I don't know. But that's basically it, right? Like, I like some of the references, I like some of the lore development, I also like, you know, general art style and aesthetic and everything. But yeah, that's kind of like where my some of the pauses kind of end, because overall, I mean, some technical criticisms definitely is sound mixing. That's an obvious one, but for some reason the voices are kind of low sometimes, often low, and the music is overpowering, you know. So I really do wish the mixing was a little bit better, you know. Even like 100% voice volume is just kind of low anyway. Basically, you just need to compress it. All you need, it's very simple. You need to go to Audacity, you know, or whatever. You gotta go like blah 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 blah, like that. Blah 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 blah. Oh, I gotta make it like it's gotta be what is it? I gotta make it mono because the microphone's technically not mono, whatever. How do you mono this? I forgot. I don't know how to mono this. Whatever. I'm not going to focus too much on it. Anyway, it's wrong because it's stereo. Anyway, but either way, you do that, you go blah blah blah, and then you just press compress. You just do this. And now it's like this. Blah 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 blah. Even though it's in the left ear, but you know, you get what I mean. You just compress it. Just compress it. So that it's a little bit like the lowers are a little bit, you know, louder and stuff like that, right? So it's more of a normalized volume. Though I guess you can also use normalize, but if you do that with voices, it sounds weird. But anyway, you have to compress it basically. Compressing just means like technically it has a threshold, and so it lowers louder sounds into a smaller peak. But you know, and then you add gain. You know, the idea is that you make again the volume around the same. And it's kind of like in radio, for example, they heavily compress everything in radio because it's kind of hard to hear, right? If they don't compress it. Anyway, but that's what they did back in the day, and now, you know, you gotta compress stuff. In fact, a lot of modern movies don't compress stuff, and now it's kind of hard to hear dialogue actually, because the movies are like, you know, modern movies anyway are meant for like big theaters with like big speakers and all that. But like otherwise though, if you just normal listening through your like, I don't know, a computer or like a phone or anything, you need to compress the audio so it sounds right. Anyway, so that's the most like obvious like technical criticism. Besides that, or I guess for me, subjective, you know, because obviously it's not something that everyone else would agree, but I do feel like, I don't know, my issue with this game is that they introduced like way too many plot points, basically, like way too many things. They introduced this character, and then another character, and then another character, and then another character, and then they gave like a bunch of like exposition and backstory. You know, the one thing that I find is sinful, you know, in like video game writing or visual novel writing, especially like visual novels, like they did it too much, right? I mean, I don't know, like I get it if you want to do like a flashback to explain the context of what's going on. My only issue is that the game's centered on it, you know, and just did only that just so that they can explain all these new characters. But like in that case, I don't know, like it felt a little bit shoehorned in because this is based on a existing franchise, right? It's based already on Berrywitched and then Berrywitched, whatever, and we're not really exploring those, you know, concepts that were already explored. Instead, we're introducing a bunch of like 10 new things, and we're explaining those right off the bat, you know, with no mystery. Like, you know, that's the thing, right? There is a bit of mystery of like who is Memorial and who are these characters and everything, but then you kind of like explain everything away, then well, there's no mystery left, I feel like, right? That's my issue. And that's my issue with like any kind of visual novel that like tries to like explain everything, you know? That's what I don't like, you know? And that's just might only be me. I'm not sure, but like I just don't like that because it makes me feel like I'm reading like a Wikipedia page, you know, or like a character summary or whatever, right? It's like it's basically the same thing. I don't know. Like, I don't feel any emotional attachment because I feel like that's not the I don't know, it's like it's not the purpose, you know, of the writing. The purpose of the writing felt like it was just to explain who these characters are and like, oh, why you should like them, instead of just naturally just being a story first, and then naturally you just learn about these characters just by them acting at like people, you know, instead of explaining everything, right? That's how I feel like anyway. I don't know. That's just me. And I'm sure a ton of like actual like 5 out of 5 visual novels do it anyway, and a lot of like, you know, advanced, you know, visual novel readers love that, but I'm like, I don't know, I don't like it. So it feels like more like a book, right? I don't like that. I prefer it more like a, I don't know, again, more like a screenplay, right? Just comparing it to like freaking, again, apples to oranges, but like, to be honest, one of the best writing that has existed in the latest decade or so is the freaking Coffin, Andy and Lily. I don't know. Obviously controversial because of the whole like freaking incest thing. Or I spelled that wrong. Coffin of Andy and Lily. But I think it's best viewers. Oh yeah, because of I was blocking a term earlier. Coffin and Lily. Because the story feels natural, even the circumstances are crazy and everything, obviously, and the themes are insane. The writing just feels natural. I think it's because the developer, it's not because this is not the only game, right? They've made other games in the past under a pseudonym, Nemle, whatever, which I played a whole bunch, and you know, it's just my preference, right? That kind of writing is really like appeals to me. I don't know, because they don't spend like 20 scenes trying to explain every little detail of the universe or story necessarily. It just comes naturally from the characters talking to each other, and especially having a kind of an antagonistic, you know, relationship with each other. That's kind of the main thing in Coffin and Lily's, like the characters are actually kind of toxic, you know, where they love-hate each other, you know? And I feel like in this kind of story, it felt a little bit like, I don't know, what do you call it? I mean, like typical anime shonen, or, you know, or like the friends, they just kind of talk like Blueberry and Strawberry and Raspberry. They're just friends, you know? But that's the thing. If they're already started off as friends, it's kind of like boring, you know? You have to like mess it up somehow. They have to fight, you know? Or maybe they started off as friends, but then they betray each other. I don't know. I always want a soap opera, I guess. But like, it's just kind of boring when their relationships kind of stay the same, you know, for the whole story. Not interesting. Kind of interesting was obviously relationship to Memorial, but like, again, I felt a little bit contrived because it was like, oh, it turns out it was their girlfriend from before, but actually they lost their memories, so they never actually had a relationship. It was all fake or whatever, or like it was real, but then everyone just forgot. Like, I don't know, it just felt weird. It didn't feel natural. I don't know. It could be something interesting there, I guess. I mean, the twist I think was interesting, but like, it didn't feel impactful, you know, because it felt a little bit, again, contrived. I think it's because of the whole magic thing too, as well. It's like, oh, it's just magic, you know, just because. It's like, I don't know. I feel like when you introduce magic in any kind of story, my only not concern, but my only pet peeve is like whenever anyone could just do magic just because. Like, there's no downside, right? Like if you use magic, you just feel like usually the extent of like magic being like having any kind of penalty is like, oh, you feel tired or whatever. Oh, I used up all my energy or my mana. It's like, that's just boring. Like, I want magic to be like the type of magic that I like in a story anyway, that's more narratively like interesting, is when you just sacrifice something, right? Your soul or like your memories or whatever it is, right? That's more interesting. It would be interesting like if Memorial like had memory powers, and it was kind of alluded to, but I feel like didn't really go anywhere. But it's the fact that every time he used his memory powers, he would lose something of himself, like maybe his own memories and things like that, right? I don't know, you could play around with that, you know, like, I don't know, like, he uses too much, he forgets who he is, things like that. And when he gets back his memories, he actually turns to a different person, you know, I don't know, but we didn't really do that, though, he just kind of stayed the same, I don't know. Other than the only like interesting part of him is like, oh, he likes buttons, I guess, you know, it's kind of it, you know, it's like, again, like, I don't know, it's not yaoi, but it's like toxic yaoi, as in like, you know, they're only staying together because he saved him, or them rather. He saved him, you know, they're dependent on each other, that kind of thing. Kind of like Coffee and Lily, but we didn't explore that dynamic that much, you know. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I mean, not just, I mean, even the developers like own writing, actually. I'm thinking about like this one too, Little Red Memories. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was, yeah, this wolf guy was like a little bit yandere, you know. I like that part too, you know, the bunny, I think, was it a bunny? Red Riding, you know, Red Riding Hood, whatever. And like the other guy, the wolf, who was a bit yandere, as far as I remember anyway. And that was interesting. I like that part, right? So that kind of story, they obviously they don't have to write it again, but like, I don't know, that part is missing, I feel. That kind of like exploration of that dynamic is missing. And you know, that's what I like about like psychological horror games, right? It's like, I don't know. And this is, I mean, it's tagged as horror. Is it psychological horror? Yeah, I mean, it is. I don't know. There's a bit of horror, and that's the thing. That my biggest, and here's my biggest criticism, I guess, is that the horror is not really there. I don't know. There's the one part where, you know, she got like Blueberry got absorbed into the freaking like rabbit amalgamation or whatever. Where is it? I'm doxing my folders here. Raw streams, like here. Which one was it? Which one's the voice changer one? This one? Read this. You know the part where is it? It's not this. I went on a tangent, you know, here and then blah blah blah. Undertale? Was that Undertale? I don't know. Oh yeah, this one. Oh, just saw it. See, like this one. I was referring to this one. See, so this is horror. This is like freaking straight out of Junji Ito. So ironically, I feel like this is the most scary part of the game, and everything else, not really. And there's some things that were described as kind of scary, but we never see it. You know, I'm a visual learner. Okay, well, not really, but you know. Or rather, because I lack visual imagination, you know, you have to show it to me, otherwise I don't get it. So like this part I was interesting. Everything else though, it's like she gets froze to death or whatever. Raspberry turned to a pancake, I guess, but we don't really see it. I don't know. Blueberry even blew up to like a flaming corpse. So we have it described, but we don't see it. You know, I don't know. And obviously, I don't expect the developer like draw everything. I guess that requires time and effort, but you know, I feel like in terms of the horror though, a lot of it is just kind of like described instead of like actually see it, you know. Even though like the brains being bashed out, you know, we just see the hands holding each other and some blood. It's like, I don't know, it's not enough, you know. At least I'm honest, compared to other games, they're a little more gory. Again, like the actions were gory, but we didn't see it. We just have it described. And I guess, yeah, basically the horror was lacking. I guess, and on top of that too, like it became a little bit too actiony at the end, you know. It became like an action anime, and it's like they're fighting. Oh, I summon my scythe, you know. I summon my bazooka, or I throw my blueberry bombs at you, or I use my vine magic. It's like, I don't know. That's not very interesting in a psychological horror game, you know. When it turns into like an action game, right? It's just not interesting, especially in the visual novel, where you can't even see anything anyway. So like, you just have it described to you. It's like, I never liked that part in any kind of visual novel when characters fight each other and that's it, right? Because I feel like if you're gonna have characters fight each other, it's gotta be like a metaphor for something, or symbolic or something, right? The actual fighting doesn't matter. It's more so the actual like reason they're fighting each other, right? That kind of thing. But like if you're describing their actions one by one, like a role-playing game, like a Dungeons and Dragons tabletop role-playing game, it's like, it's not very interesting. It's like, I don't know. Who cares if they summon a scythe? You know, it's like, wow, you summon a scythe and then you do things. It's like, I don't see it though. I don't see it animated. What's the point? I don't know. Anyway, that's just me though. I just don't like action scenes in visual novels because it's just not interesting to me. Again, it's like reading a book. I don't want to read a book. But yeah, so those are my criticisms. My criticisms were, again, lack of horror. You know, lack of visual horror anyway. Lack of psychological horror in particular. Too much dependency on like just kind of like explaining these new characters. You know, not being very subtle, just being very on the nose about who all these characters are. Living on not leaving much to the viewer's imagination, I feel like, in my opinion anyway. And yeah, that's basically... Oh yeah, and the sound mixing, right, that was it. The sound mixing is a little bit off, especially the voice acting. I feel like that's a simple fix though. You just gotta compress it. Just compress it though. Just compress it, bro. Just add compression. It should be good. Unless there's some kind of weird thing. I mean, it is RPG. To be fair, it is made in RPG Maker, so maybe it's more complicated than that. I don't know. I imagine you gotta use some other format. Maybe you can't use MP3. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, but those are kind of my thoughts on Berrywitched: The Harvest. I feel like it's just very different. I don't know. It's just very different. I think it's because like Berrywitched, the original Berrywitched, was kind of simple. You know, and again, I kind of like the original art better, but it's fine. I mean, this one's cutesy too. It's just that this one, for some reason, it appeals to me more. I don't know why. Right? Because this is the original, and this is the remake. I guess, yeah, another thing would be like the player, right? I don't know why they did this weird thing where the player, like the protagonist of the first game, was kind of there. That was never explained, actually. Ironically, they explained everything else, but not the part that matters to me anyway. But like, you know, maybe they did. I don't know. But you know, the whole like character in the hood thing, that's you, right? The character, the protagonist, anyway. I think, as far as I remember, anyway, that's you, the protagonist, a self-insert character. And for some reason, they turned into a skeleton. They probably died of old age or something. I don't know, but. Yeah, there's this whole thing where like, oh, you know, you're Strawberry's best friend and she's like desperate to revive you or whatever, but it just kind of like, why does she keep their bones with her, you know? I mean, it was alluded to that she wanted to revive you, maybe, but I think she had another reason. Why? I don't know. Not sure, but yeah, it's kind of weird that they just kill us off like that, you know, we, the player, you know, why would you just kill us off like that randomly, and like, that's it? We're just some bones, you know? That was like a weird cameo in a way, right? A weird, like, cameo thing where it's like, we're kind of still there technically, but like, you know, you're not really a character because you never really were a character, right? It's just a weird self-insert. Anyway. But yeah, what was I trying to say? Oh yeah, I like the original story, Berrywitched, though, because it was... Overall, though, it was kind of simple, right? It was just a very simple story. It was just a weird strawberry witch, you know? What's she doing here? Why is she so happy and optimistic? Was she hiding something, you know? And then you have all these decisions to either, you know, be suspicious of her or like, you know, or you play along, you know, and then, you know, you betray her, you know, that kind of thing, right? It feels like you had some choices how you want to interact, and then you slowly, piece by piece, by getting all the different endings, you get an idea of what's going on, right? And they always end like badly, you know, to make you more paranoid, to make you think, oh, she's evil or something. But actually, there's a reason for what she's doing, and then you learn at the end, right? So that kind of thing, right? So it's kind of like a very, very simple but effective horror mystery, right? With a small setting. But like with the Berrywitched Harvest, I felt like at the same time it was like a lot of things, but also not a lot of things, right? It felt like a lot of fluff, I guess, is why you would describe it as, right? Like I've alluded to, like, oh, he's gonna kill everyone, kill all the witches, okay? It just feels so abstract, though. What do you mean kill all the witches? What do you mean by that? What do you mean, you literally go up to everybody's house and just stab them? Like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean kill all the witches? Like, huh? Like that doesn't register in my head, or it doesn't make me feel immersed because it felt a little bit too out there, you know. It's like any kind of story is like, I'm gonna destroy the world, you know. I'm gonna summon a giant meteor cloud from the live stream, and I'm gonna destroy the world. You know, it's like it's a little bit too big of a story, I feel like, for what it is, and I don't even like big stories like that anyway, you know, personally. But yeah, like, I feel like it's like this weird thing is this an apocalypse apparently. This guy's doing it. I don't know. But at the same time, we're just like walking around. It's like in the weird campgrounds, you know? It's like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe why I feel like this story just doesn't, you know, like I can't get into it as much. But I think it's because of that, right? It's because it's like, there's just too much going on. At the same time, there's not much going on, you know? A lot of fluff. Should really just focus on one or two things, really. Like, build up upon that mystery, you know? Instead of like trying to explain, kind of like, you know, do everything all at once and try to like, oh, this character did this and that character, you know, all these extra things like the, you know, like Blueberry's friend or Blueberry was your friend or Raspberry was a friend or whatever. Like she was a thing, she was a politician. Like, I don't know. I feel like those are just extras, you know. Those are they just don't matter to the story that much. Like if you're gonna do like a backstory or like explain, you know, all these characters, so like there has to be a reason. You know? And the closest thing was like definitely Memorial, I guess. You know, the whole like twist, whatever. But like. But even then, it was a little bit too much, you know? It was like, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just going around in circles. I just feel a little bit disappointed that it just felt very different, right? It just felt very different from all of their other stories. At least by comparison. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I felt like an episode, you know, of like a My Little Pony. I don't know. I never watched My Little Pony. I don't know. Not My Little Pony, but like some kind of cartoon show. It just felt like an episode of some kind of cartoon show or something. It felt okay, but like it's not what I want. I want horror. I want cutesy horror. They're like, you know, starts off cutesy and then horrible things happen to everyone, you know? It kind of does. It kind of does. I mean, there are definitely the bad endings, but I don't know. But they feel like not part of the main story, if that makes sense. Anyway, not to rag on this developer for so long. They'll be fine. You know, even my criticism, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, who cares? I'm just a nobody on the internet. But it doesn't matter. I gotta say though, this is a clickbait. This thumbnail was clickbait though, because we never see this until the very end. It just ended up freaking cliffhanger. You know, that's when the interesting part of the game should have happened. You know, you should have skipped to that part. And then what happens? You know, that's the part that matters. It's like, you know, after years, like it should be like a thing where like, oh, like the, you know, the player or whatever from the original game, they died. And instead of all these extra characters that, in my opinion, don't matter that much, it should be the fact that she was alone this whole time. And suddenly this weird clown character shows up and then, you know, tries to get her to turn evil. You know, something like that, right? Like, oh, get her to turn violent, turn evil, whatever it is. Corruption story, I don't know. And try to turn her to like her sister or something like that, you know? And all part of the plan, you know, to, I don't know, do something, I guess. I'm not sure, but I think that's the interesting part. The Memorial was the interesting part, but I felt like we danced around a little bit too much around Memorial instead of actually just focusing on just, hey, what is Memorial's relationship with Strawberry, you know? And that's it, you know? That should just be the main story. It should be just focused on that instead of like her other friends. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Anyway. Yeah. Is there anything else? I guess that's it. I'm just rambling because it's basically the end of the stream. You know, it's not exactly 4 hours, but like, you know, pretty much done. I don't know if there's anything else I want to do, so that's pretty much it. Hey, but it wasn't technically a horror game, so if like I played a horror game, I guess after Halloween, but it's the day after Halloween. You know, it's almost thematic, almost. You know. It's kind of still like Halloween, sort of, even though it's November. And is there anything else? I mean, it says here, Itch.io, October 27th to November 4th, technically. It's still Halloween. It's still kind of Halloweenish. Anyway. I'm just looking at all these games. Anything you want to play for next time? Well, tomorrow I'm going to obviously continue playing Void Stranger. Next time I'll probably do something else. Maybe a bit more demos. Jeff the Killer. Remember Jeff the, isn't that the meme? Jeff the Killer's a meme. Also, this thing is still here, by the way. This is a freaking like AI game that for some reason is getting high in the popularity thing, but like it's not a good game though. It's like, I swear, either the younger generation has been brain rotted so much that they can't tell what's a AI game is anymore, or it's like being botted or something and it's still here. I don't get it. New and popular. Oh, verifying you're a human. VPN. I don't know, I'm just browsing itch.io. This is what I do to find games. Egg. It's not the same. You know, when I first, you know, back in the day, when I was starry-eyed, I guess. Is that the saying? I don't know. Like, you know, when I first came upon itch.io, it was like so many games I wanted to play, and now there's no games I want to play. A knock on the door? Isn't this just... Is this a ripoff of like, No, I'm Not Human? Or, oh, maybe this, I mean, they do say it's in that style. Well, you know, there's a game called No, I'm Not Human. I've seen a lot of streamers play that one. Unfamiliar. It was an anime girl on the thumbnail. I'm like, I click on it. Is it interesting enough though? Please comment, capital C, anything if you, spelled you, already play our game. T can be a compliment or a bug. You know, does that make me feel confident about playing this game if you already can't write a proper sentence, you know, not to sound mean or anything. It's like you gotta put some effort into like writing the description. So I guess it is like, it seems to be in a different language. I don't know. I like the art style, but it seems a little rough. Anyway. Boobs? What is this? Furry boob game? Alright, well, there's nothing I want to say at this point, so I'm just gonna like end the stream. I could continue playing the Undertale OST. It was kind of short. A lot of these are just short little like bits of the game, you know? It's like super short, I feel like. Anyway. Yeah. Song that I might play when you fight sands. How about if I repeat it? It's a song that doesn't actually play in the original game, I don't think, right? Because, you know, technically only Megalovania plays. Alright. So, I think that'll be it for today, I think. Yeah. Let me just press the little, like, button. Boop. And I'm just gonna say my usual schedule is Saturday and Sunday, 11 AM Eastern Time, and tomorrow I'm going to continue playing Void Stranger and do another run? Like, it keeps going. Void Stranger never ends, by the way, because as soon as you see the credits, turns out you have to play through the game again as a different character, apparently. That's what you need to do. Well, I don't know. Obviously, I'll continue playing it, but... Well, actually, I didn't want to... I actually wanted the song to repeat. Will it repeat now? I'm not sure. Anyway. But yeah. What else did I want to say? Yeah, that's basically, yeah, I'm gonna play Void Stranger tomorrow. That's the plan. Even though it's a bit of a chore, but I can't stop myself until I finish it, you know? Until I finish it, or I feel like I finish it, you know? It never feels like it's done, you know? It has to be closure. I can't stop until there's closure. Anyway, but yeah. And that's basically it. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.